the misunderstood saintly life of a villainous scion. I just want to do whatever I want for the second time in my life. Volume 4, by Kinome. Translated by Gadgetized Panda Translations. Audiobook by Masquerade at Masquerade Audiobooks. Prologue, Diary of a Maid. Royal Calendar Anbarld Year 25, Month X Day Y I confess to Lord Auga. For several days after realizing my feelings for Lord Auga, I held back. But perhaps because I felt relieved after punishing Andros, my nemesis, my love for Lord Auga overflowed, as if filling a void. His sharp gaze when looking at documents, his strong chest that I should have been used to seeing every day, the smile he shows occasionally, and even his casual gestures. My heart started racing at everything. I know that many wonderful people like Miss Levizenka, and Lady Riene are in love with Lord Auga. Still, I couldn't control myself. I'm embarrassed by my own immaturity. Yet I don't regret it, which is hopelessly pathetic of me. I wonder how I should face Lord Auga when I attend to him tomorrow. When I wake up, I'll do my early morning training from my Holy Night days for the first time in a while. Royal Calendar Anbarld Year 25, Month X, Day Z. After discussing with Lord Auga, we decided to keep my confession a secret from everyone else. It seems Lord Auga has his own thoughts on the matter. If that's what he decided, I have no objections. What I'm grateful for is that he said he would definitely give me an answer, so I should wait. Thinking calmly, it's a miracle in itself that Lord Auga, a nobleman, is taking the confession of a mere commoner like me seriously. My respect for my lord, who values others' feelings, has only grown stronger. Needless to say, I've fallen even more in love with him. Royal Calendar Anbarld Year 25, Month X, Day K. I made Lord Auga say words of comfort to me. The condition of Lord Auga's right arm is not good. He probably saw through my self-blame about it. Even though he must be in pain, he made me worry about him. After Lord Auga has done so much for me, I can't keep spreading such a gloomy atmosphere. That would be disrespectful to my noble lord. I'll end this topic in my diary as well. On a completely different note, since my confession, I've had more opportunities to be in close proximity to Lord Auga. He's probably seeking human warmth and wanting me near, but it's still very embarrassing. Just a touch of his hand, and I react like such a maiden. Well, I am a maiden. From now on, when Lord Auga shows me affection, I'll try to compose myself. Otherwise, my heart won't be able to take it. Royal Calendar Anbarld Year 25, Month X, Day A. Today is Lord Auga's memorable debut in high society. From what I heard from Lord Auga, His Majesty the King will bestow upon him the title of saint and a necklace as proof of it. It's a lifelong honor to have helped choose the outfit he'll wear on such a glorious occasion, along with Miss and the others. At Mr. Gordon's request, I trained the fan club, the Alabin Vigilante Group, Mio, and the followers of the Auga religion, a religion that worships Lord Auga, who had approached us earlier for this day. Perhaps because of those efforts, voices praising Lord Auga echoed even beyond the royal capital. I could hear them while waiting to welcome Lord Auga, and I nodded to myself, thinking that the world was finally beginning to understand Lord Auga's greatness. I really wanted to play a role in making the public aware of Lord Auga's greatness, but I was assigned the important task of taking care of Lord Auga on his return journey, so I shouldn't be greedy. And on the carriage ride back to Velet territory, well, he showed me quite a bit of affection. I won't forget this day for many reasons. In Velet territory, it was decided that today and Lord Auga's birthday would become holidays to commemorate the birth of Saint Auga. The whole territory celebrating Lord Auga's achievements. Yes, it's truly a wonderful event. Royal Calendar Anbarld Year 25, Month X, Day B. I will cut down all obstacles that stand in Lord Auga's way. For your sake, I would even become an Usura. Royal Calendar Anbarld Year 25, Month X, Day C. We're going on a trip with everyone. It's Mr. Gordon's arrangement to change the mood after everything that's happened these past few days. The boarding date for the tickets he prepared for us is coming soon. I must start preparing for Lord Auga's journey right away. After enjoying a sky journey with Lord Auga on the airship Wingship, we'll head to the independent mechanical city, Encarton. Stage 4.1, The Birth of a Saint. A cloudless blue sky, perfect weather for a celebration. A solemn atmosphere permeates the grand hall of the royal castle, bathed in sunlight. I too stand tall, displaying a posture befitting a nobleman. We shall now commence the award ceremony for Auga Vellet. Auga Vellet, approach His Majesty King Anbald. I begin walking on the red carpet laid out on the marble floor, having waited near the entrance. With each step, the gazes from both sides intensify. It's the noble lords and ladies' esteemed appraisal, lined up along the red carpet. After all, some of them are seeing me properly for the first time. The eldest son of one of the 4 great ducal families, who had been a shut-in until now, suddenly emerges and is immediately honored by the king himself. You won't find a similar case even if you flip through past history books. This will likely remain the only example in the future as well. With Andros executed, at least officially, and my father's influence growing stronger, I've become a potential connection to Gordon Vellet. In noble society, it's eat or be eaten. Essentially, the nobles are trying to gauge whether Auga Vellet is someone they can manipulate. However, those close to my father, who behaves like a corrupt nobleman, probably won't approach me much. Being honored by the king, they should recognize me as someone who performs good deeds. Corrupt nobles with skeletons in their closets wouldn't risk exposing themselves unnecessarily. My father in the front row breaks into a slight smile when our eyes meet. Looking around, I see the current heads of the 4 great ducal families perfectly lined up, including Karen's father. Gordon Vellet, the corrupt lord who manages the rotten parts and manipulates things behind the scenes to avoid inconveniencing His Majesty. Enju Levizenka, head of the military division that has protected the kingdom of Rondism from the threats of monsters and war. Rajini's Kabunica, the national magician who, like Flanae, played an active role in the past Great War and is said to still be able to turn the tide of battle single-handedly. Juden Audrian, His Majesty's confidant who loves the country more than anyone and supports the development of the kingdom of Rondism through domestic affairs. Each of them is a battle-hardened veteran who has shaped an era. Their aura is indeed different. My instincts tell me they're living on a stage 2 levels above. Having thoroughly endured the gazes from my surroundings, I finally reach the foot of King Anbald's throne. I kneel on one knee and bow my head. Considering what's about to happen, I already want to return to the mansion and recuperate in the healing space with Mashiro and the others. The lavish suit I'm wearing, unworthy of the name of the corrupt Vellet family, feels unbearably heavy. Moreover, the pain in my right arm hasn't subsided, and I'm still keeping it immobilized with an arm holder. Of course, I can't voice such complaints to His Majesty, which is why I'm here. I feel like my freedom is being steadily taken away without my knowledge, distancing me from my dream of living as I please. Raise your head, Auga Vellet. Yes, Your Majesty. You've done well to come to the castle, while your battle wounds are still healing. Consider it my paternal concern, wanting to reward a loyal subject as soon as possible. I hope you'll forgive me. Not at all, Your Majesty. Your kind words alone are more than enough reward for me. I see you possess a humble heart as well. This further confirms my belief that you are indeed worthy of the title I shall bestow upon you today. The great hall suddenly becomes noisy. In contrast to the perplexed nobles, His Majesty seems quite pleased, smiling broadly. In the kingdom of Rondism, a title is proof that one has been recognized by His Majesty. It is given only to those judged to have made extremely high contributions to the country, granting the honor of having one's name recorded in the history books compiled since the nation's founding. To be frank, I haven't achieved anything comparable to the great figures of the past. This isn't modesty, it's my honest opinion. All I've done is put my body on the line a little to obtain Riene and get Alice back. And that wasn't even for the country's sake, but for my own selfish desires. That's why I absolutely don't want such a title. I'm only here reluctantly because I've been left with no way out. It would be a disgrace for generations if the history books recorded that a person enshrined in the country's history went on to indulge in luxury and spend their days surrounded by women. But mercilessly, the award ceremony continues, ignoring my internal struggle. Auga Vellet, you have uncovered the diabolical plan of the great sinner, Flanae Milfonte, and liberated the kingdom of Ramdarb from the clutches of evil. That's not true. I wasn't aware of Flanae's schemes at all, and I just misunderstood that Riene was being treated unfairly in her work. Furthermore, you prevented the actions of the insider Duke Andraus, who had spread his roots into politics, before an unprecedented situation could occur. That's not true either. I was only acting out of a desperate desire to get Alice back, more than the relation with Flanae. Without your efforts, we would never have realized the true malevolence of Flanae Milfonte until it was too late, with her claws at our throats. How can everything be so completely misunderstood? If I could, I'd really want to tell the whole truth. Your Majesty, I'm not such an admirable person. I want to say that I'm a person full of desire, with only my own wants in my head. While I maintain a slight smile, careful not to let it show on my face, my heart was weeping. Of course, my inner thoughts remain undetected, and the ceremony continues. Duke Audrian, who had been part of the line until moments ago, approaches His Majesty's side and unfolds a paper he was holding. The bravery and righteous heart that carried out these deeds without regard for personal danger are truly befitting of a bearer of a holy heart, a saint. Therefore, in recognition of Lord Augavelet, His Majesty King Anbald of Rondism hereby bestows the title of saint. Finally, the title is declared, and a rain of applause pours down. Duke Audrian opens an ornate box he had somehow acquired, probably using magic, judging from the flow of magical power, revealing a transparent necklace shaped like a shield bearing a lion emblem. Wait, isn't this the royal family's crest? This is proof that you are a saint. This transparent royal crest truly symbolizes the sincere heart and actions of Augavelet, free from duplicity. That Augavelet must be someone else, but it seems the intended recipient is undoubtedly me, as His Majesty takes it and places it around my neck. Indeed, it suits you very well, Augavelet. Henceforth, as the bearer of the title Saint, you shall be summoned with the highest priority in times of national crisis. For Lord Augavelet, who embodies loyalty to the kingdom, there could be no more joyous title. In other words, this means that I will be forcibly involved in any future events that shake the kingdom of Rondism. This is the obligation of all those who have been given a title. And His Majesty and Duke Audrian believe that I am delighted to receive the title of Saint, because in their minds, I am a righteous person who has worked tirelessly for the country, exposing Flanae's darkness and fighting against the enemies of the state. This is ridiculous. Why is it that the more I pursue what I want to do, the more I'm pushed in the opposite direction of where I'm aiming? Saint, a title that stands in direct opposition to me, who is aiming to create a harem and live a life of luxury. This title will spread in the blink of an eye, not just among the nobility, but also to the common people, and the name Augavelet will suddenly become a topic of conversation throughout the kingdom. And that means I'll have the wild surveillance of the populace wherever I go. I humbly accept this great honor. It's a lie, I think they all can go to hell. The cross reflects my face, barely containing the urge to scream. I expect great things from you in the future, worthy of the name Saint. I shall strive to bring your Majesty numerous good tidings. Ahmy, desired future crumbles away with a loud crash. If I have to live such a disciplined life from now on, maybe I should retire with everyone after the battle with Flanae is over. And so, in a somewhat escapist manner, I begin to reconstruct a new future. Section. Right now, I am moved. At last, the time has come for my beloved son to shine. Auga has always been extremely serious, never neglecting his own training. For someone born into a noble position, lacking magic aptitude, is something that could drive one to end their life. There have indeed been cases in the past where people troubled by this met such an end. But Auga didn't break. He began to rebel against the world, as if to say he didn't even have time to cry, trying to overcome his misfortune. When he created the magic burial, I was certain this child would surely become a great figure, making his name resound throughout the world. My eyes did not deceive me. Auga bravely confronts Flanae Milfonte, who has become the greatest threat to the country. He was climbing the stairs to become a hero who would shoulder the future of the nation. Augavelet, you should go and show your resplendent figure to the people who have been eagerly waiting to catch a glimpse of you. I have already indulged myself quite enough. Yes, Your Majesty. If my appearance can alleviate the people's fears, I would be delighted to walk around the city. After receiving permission to leave from His Majesty King Anbald, Auga goes to show himself to the citizens eagerly awaiting his arrival in the royal capital, as originally planned. He has truly become admirable. I merely provided the environment. It's thanks to Auga's own efforts that he has grown into someone capable of shouldering such responsibilities. His sister Cilicia, who grew up watching her brother's back, is also admirably fulfilling her duties in a foreign country. Although her admiration may have grown a bit too strong, leading to overly intense emotions towards her real brother, Auga should be able to handle it well. Father, please make sure to capture brother's heroic figure with the magic camera. Otherwise, I will return immediately from the Carmabine Empire. Watching Auga being photographed before His Majesty King Anbald, I recalled a line from Cilicia's letter. While it's for official use, a few of those photos will likely find their way to Cilicia. The Saint Auga Velet is now departing. Unaware of such exchanges happening behind the scenes, my beloved son bowed deeply and left the Great Hall. Section, Lord Auga, we support your great achievements. Such pure and righteous actions. Lord Auga is truly a role model for nobility. Please bless our lives with peace and happiness. Below, an overwhelming crowd of people has gathered, and the volume of voices reaching my ears is unlike anything I've experienced before. Yes, that's what spreads out before my lowered gaze. It's because I'm now standing on the castle balcony, which is normally used by His Majesty, the King, for national celebrations or audiences with the people. Around the castle, guards and even holy knights have been mobilized to form a perimeter, preventing the gathered masses from entering the castle grounds. Ha, it seems I've suddenly become quite popular. Wait, what? Why have so many people gathered for me, someone who has never been in the public eye before? Please stop, direct such an incredible number of expectant gazes at me. I have my limits anymore and my conscience will. Yet, given my current position, I can't just run away and abandon this. As I advance along this glorious road, I respond to the voices of the people by smiling for longer than I ever have in my life. I've been so conscious of smiling that my cheeks are starting to cramp up. Moreover, now that I've clearly recognized the expectations from the people, which I had only vaguely felt before, my stomach is starting to ache. Haha. It seems the people are already looking forward to your achievements, Mr. Saint. I am truly blessed. I will strive to maintain these smiles. His Majesty the King patted my shoulder, and I couldn't ignore such words. I'm being forced to say things I don't really mean. Strange, I've already reached a point of no return. Rather, shouldn't I be more pampered for working so hard that they're even holding such an event for me? Like, Lord Auga, please accept this support fund as a token of our gratitude. Or, Lord Auga, please enjoy our local specialty products to your heart's content. Or, we want to work for Lord Auga until we die. We'll work hard, so please rest easy, Lord Auga. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. But it's all saint this, saint that. The thought of having to be even more careful about every single action in my daily life from now on is depressing. For someone like me who just wanted to create a harem and live an easy life, this kind of fame tax is something I never wanted, even if I were to die. It's no exaggeration to call it a punishment game. Look over there. There's quite a lively and enthusiastic group. Ha, that's very kind. In the direction His Majesty pointed, flags with my face sewn on them were being waved around. Their enthusiasm for support is clearly on a different level from the others. If that were all, I could accept them as fans, but unless I'm mistaken, I recognize all of them. I made eye contact with Schultz Sadia, who was standing at the front. She clutched her chest for some reason, but unlike in the Ramdarb Kingdom, she managed not to collapse. What on earth is she doing? Ah, Lord Velet is looking at us. Let's show him the results of our special training, everyone. Yes, Captain Sadia. Responding to her call, the girls spread out in a fan shape, and every single one of them is wearing a shirt that says, Lord Auga or Death. Judging the world's evil with divine judgment. The Savior, who gives us guidance in life. The Saint who weaves the future with a gentle heart and unwavering courage. Lord Auga Velet. This is bad, I'm getting a headache. Look, everyone else is paying so much attention because of the sheer volume. This chant has been etched into everyone's memory. Is this hell? The enthusiasm of young people these days is wonderful. It's a relief that His Majesty seems to be thoroughly enjoying this. He's someone who was born to stand above the people, so he must be prepared to accept such support, which is why he can laugh. All right, it's our turn now. Let's raise our voices so we're not outdone by the young ladies, you guys. We must spread the greatness of Lord Auga to the world now. Let's deliver it with all our souls. Yes, big bro Alabin. Big sis Mio. And then, taking their place, this time Alabin and Mio take command, shouting their chant with a volume that surpasses the previous group of girls. What a beautifully coordinated movement. Just like a military unit. Alice must have definitely trained them for this. I can easily imagine our maid smiling as she puts them through special training. If she were to call out, Alabin and Mio would gather immediately. And it's not strange for them to be acquainted with Sadia and the others since they were close in the cheering section during the Academy Magic competition. Also, what's with the immediate adaptation to the Saint version? Isn't that too fast for work? While Alice must have polished it to this extent, the initial push surely came from father. He's such a doting parent. I think he did this to create a celebratory mood for me. After all, there's a good chance I might be disliked just for being a son of the Velet family. Thinking about it that way, I can't slack off in my response. Right, left, back to the right again, I move my body busily, continuing to wave with an unfamiliar smile until I return to the castle. Lord Velet, you're wonderful today as well. Big bro Auga, I'm so happy to have been picked up by you, big bro. Lord Auga, one loved by the god who guides us, we offer our prayers. By the way, these guys followed me, moving along until the very end. Towards the end, I felt more fear than amazement. After showing my face on the balcony for a moderate amount of time, I bid farewell to His Majesty the King and left the castle. Section. As I passed through the gate, a carriage was waiting. According to the original plan, I'm supposed to board this carriage and return directly to the Velet domain. Normally, I would return to the castle and attend parties for several days, but His Majesty King Ambald, considering my injury, has graciously exempted me from all of that this time. This is a huge help. I'm already troubled by pain, so I don't want to accumulate any new stress. Well, I've already experienced more than enough stomach pain. This is certainly tiring. Good work, Lord Auga. Alice, who was waiting next to the carriage, wiped the sweat from my forehead. She will accompany me as my maid, taking care of me and acting as a guard during the journey. Of course, in addition to her, the self-defense force of the Velet domain, hired by father and including people like Alabin, was also leading horses surrounding the carriage. Wait a minute. I can't help but voice my thoughts. There's someone who was cheering for me in the royal capital earlier. Alabin, when did you get here? What are you talking about? Where there's Lord Auga, there's Alabin, that's how it is. I see. I see. I decided to ignore it, thinking it would be pointless to consider it deeply. Behind him, there are other familiar faces. It seems Alabin's subordinates have all joined the self-defense force without exception. Excuse me, Lord Auga, please come inside. Alice says a word before getting into the carriage first, then takes my hand. It's probably a precaution to prevent me from falling in case of any mishap, given that my right arm is injured. Arms are important for maintaining body balance. I should be grateful for her thoughtfulness. Heh, this makes me feel like a princess. But right now, it's a bit unsatisfying. I might not have minded before, but the relationship between you and me has already changed. Put your arm around my neck, Alice. Lord Oeep. I pulled her hand that I had grabbed in reverse, and naturally, she fell towards me. Alice, trusting my words, didn't even try to break her fall and put her arm around my neck. Just before she completely lost her balance, I reached for her bottom and lifted her up. You're light, Alice. I could lift you with just one arm. Lord Auga, please put me down, if something were to happen to your body. While I appreciate your concern, you know very well that I haven't been trained in a way that would be affected by something like this. Or have you forgotten our days of special training together, Alice? That way of putting it is somewhat unfair, isn't it? QQ cuckoo, I'm joking, just joking. I know Alice remembers our time together clearly. If she didn't, she wouldn't have been able to respond to my call when she was under Andraus's mind control. The precious time I spent with Alice gave me the strength to stand up until the end and allowed me to reach her soul with my voice. I carried Alice in my arms like a princess as we entered the carriage. As I sat down, I realized this was indeed a carriage prepared by His Majesty the King. The spaciousness of the interior and the comfort of the seats were all exceptional. While it might be a bit too lavish for my taste, I suppose such decorations are necessary for social occasions. You may proceed. Yes, sir, understood. About a minute after I closed the door and gave the order, the carriage slowly began to move. I must add, the ride quality is quite different as well. This should make Mashiro's motion sickness a bit more bearable. Lord Auga, how long am I going to stay like this? Alice asked. Naturally, until I'm satisfied. Saying that, I buried my face in Alice's neck. Perhaps nervous from being carried like a princess, her body temperature was slightly elevated, and a faint sweat had formed. Lord Auga, such behavior, please, show some restraint. Won't you indulge your master a little, after he's completed an unfamiliar duty? Oh, there was no verbal response, but Alice's arms tightened around me, increasing our closeness. Surely her cheeks must be flushed red from this unfamiliar situation. I'm the type of man who treads carefully until I'm certain, but once I'm convinced that she definitely likes me, I become quite aggressive. Perhaps due to the influence of mistakenly remaining a virgin in my previous life, I've developed a strong tendency towards caution. That's why I've been engaging in more intimate skinship with Alice, who directly expressed her desire to become my wife, compared to the others. You could say that the sexual desires I've been suppressing until now have been released. I think to myself that I'm refreshingly pathetic, but this is the kind of life I've always wanted. My long-awaited springtime has finally arrived. How could I not lose control? If anything, I'm still holding back even now. I know that Alice is wearing a sarashi under her clothes and hasn't yet revealed her true chest. I want to gently free it right now and grasp it with my own hands. But I mustn't rush. After all, my ultimate goal is a harem lifestyle. If I give in to my desires too much here, I might end up creating a hierarchy between Alice and Mashiro and the others. I believe that avoiding such favoritism is the key to a happy harem life for everyone. So, for now, I'm only engaging in this level of skinship with Alice. I believe that the self-control that has kept me from going further until now will allow me to endure. Besides, I had a feeling that the time for me to take the next step was drawing near. After a few minutes of what could be called Alice sucking rather than cat sucking, I finally decided that we couldn't stay like this forever, and gently set her down beside me. The soft ah that escaped her lips, tinged with reluctance, tugged at my heartstrings, but I managed to follow through. Perhaps sensing my thoughts, this time Alice extended an invitation. Lord Auga, it will be a long journey to Velvet Territory. How about resting here? Alice patted her lap invitingly. Knowing how pleasant her lap pillow is, I didn't even pretend to hesitate. You're right, Alice. It will likely be nightfall by the time we reach the estate. May I borrow your lap? Of course, my lord. Since launching her preemptive marriage proposal attack via letter, Alice had become much more assertive in expressing her opinions. Before, she would have refrained from making such suggestions out of consideration for Mashiro and Karen. In essence, I was now being pampered by a beautiful older sister figure. This is significant. Being pampered is essential in life. It's absolutely impossible to keep running without taking breaks. You'd break down halfway. Phew. I let out a sigh as I finally reached this haven of rest, and I too had become able to show my vulnerable side to Alice. Alice, I want to praise myself for taking you with me that day. I feel the same way. I can proudly say that my decision to follow you, Lord Auga, was the right one. Alice is smiling beyond the lower half of my field of vision, which is occupied by her impressive chest. Although the outcome has greatly deviated from my initial intentions when I recruited her, the results have exceeded my expectations. Back then, I never imagined a future where Alice would be offering me her lap as a pillow. Lord Auga, may I touch you here? Yes, but be gentle. You're quite strong, Alice. Fufu, of course. Then, if you'll excuse me. Having received my permission, Alice gently touched my immobilized right arm through the fabric. The pain in my arm only comes sporadically now, and as long as there's no strong impact, it's not a problem. Since realizing this, she has been massaging my right arm almost every day. At first, Alice's expression when touching my arm was so pained that it was difficult for me to watch. Seeing her face, filled with such intense determination as if wishing she could take on my arm's pain herself, I felt I had to say something. So I told her. Men are simple creatures, so seeing Alice's usual beautiful face rather than such a pained expression would speed up my recovery. When I said it, I was aware of how embarrassing it sounded, but I didn't mind as long as it stopped Alice from blaming herself. Besides, I've experienced far more embarrassing things in my previous life. My words seemed to reach her, as Alice never showed that pained expression again after that. Is something the matter? No, I was just admiring your beautiful face. If my face can lift your spirits, Lord Auga, then by all means, would you like to sleep now? That would be nice, but right now, I want to burn the scenery into my memory. Alice's gentle smile and her incredibly impressive southern hemisphere. No, falling asleep here would disrupt my sleep schedule, so please keep me company in conversation to keep me awake. However, still unable to express that desire straightforwardly, I deflected. Let's see, I'd like to hear about Alice's past that I don't know about. Certainly, then I'll do my best to entertain you, Lord Auga. This is a story from when I was in the Holy Knight Order, about the time I was experimenting to see how close I could get a hand chop to match the sharpness of a sword. It already sounds interesting. Alice is probably the only one who would try such a ridiculous experiment. Perhaps that's why we get along so well, as I too have repeatedly done things that society would consider foolish. Since meeting her and spending time training together, I've come to understand that we're aiming for the same pinnacle. I then listened intently to Alice's fascinating story. The time I spent with her in the carriage was truly enjoyable. Stage 4.2, Independent Mechanical City, Encartan. 2 weeks have passed since the ceremony where I was awarded the title of saint in the royal capital. As a result, noticeable changes have come to my daily life. Alice. What's this? While spending some relaxed time with Mashiro and the others due to my right arm injury, Alice, who had been summoned by Morina, returned with 2 boxes in her hands. Placed on the table, they contained so many envelopes that they couldn't be held with both hands. First, the contents of this box are marriage proposals for Lord Auga. Marriage proposals? Auga, are you getting married? No way, don't get married. Well, I'm already Auga's fiancé, you know. Misunderstanding something, Mashiro hugs me with incredible force. Beside her, Karen, who's already engaged to me, smiles wryly. It seems to be mostly love calls from daughters of barons and viscounts. New nobility stands out in particular. Riene casually picks up a few envelopes and checks the senders. As a disciple of Floan, she's had various interactions, so it wouldn't be strange if she had a list of nobles memorized. The reaction from noble society is roughly as expected and entirely uninteresting. I figured. They want to establish connections with the 4 great ducal houses here. The counts are probably still waiting to see what happens. They can't easily approach a different faction than before. Moreover, I already have Karen, a fiancé from a ducal house. It's understandable that they're hesitant since there's no prospect of becoming the first wife. Only a direct descendant princess of His Majesty, the king, could become the first wife, surpassing Karen from the same 4 great ducal houses. So, what do you intend to do, Auga? As your big sister, I hope you'll choose your marriage partner carefully. I plan to reject them all from the start. Oh, is that so? Of course. With the upcoming battle against Floan, I don't want to create unnecessary entanglements. She's not an opponent I can beat while dividing my attention elsewhere. She probably knew I would answer like this, but still acted oblivious. However, understanding her intention to behave this way, I decided to play along. Besides, I'm already full on all sides, right, left, front, and back. There's no room for anyone else to squeeze in. As I say this, Mashiro, who had been pressing her head against my stomach, looks up. Oh, Auga, does that mean? Now then, Alice, what's in the other box? These are letters of encouragement for Lord Auga. MMPH. I interrupt Mashiro's pursuit by turning the conversation to Alice. Sorry, Mashiro. It's not time for that yet. If I'm going to talk about it, I want to convey it properly on my own timing. It's a once-in-a-lifetime important matter, after all. Encouragement for me. Yes. It seems that news of Lord Auga's achievements has finally started to reach the common people accurately. Since you were recently recognized as a saint, the rumors that had only been circulating vaguely have suddenly spread with a sense of truth. I'm overjoyed that people who can finally understand Lord Auga's greatness have appeared. Her excitement mode, which I haven't seen in a while, has returned, reassuring me that Alice's condition has also returned to normal. She had been quite affected when my right arm was injured. Good, good, that's a relief. We've thoroughly screened all the contents, so please don't worry. The amount of enthusiasm is evident from the number of envelopes packed into the box. Even though paper and envelopes aren't cheap items, the fact that they've prepared them specifically for support shows how much expectation I'm carrying on my shoulders. Well, let's see what's written. I took out a letter from the envelope placed on top, which was on wrinkled paper with a faint smell of earth. To Lord Auga, thanks to you, our island has become peaceful. Thank you very much. I want to become a strong and cool person like you, Lord Auga. My family is poor, and I want to make life easier for my hardworking mom and dad soon. If I become strong, please let me work at your house. Please do your best to defeat the strong enemies. I'm cheering for you, Ronnie Ridley. Looking at the back of the envelope, there was a stamp proving it had been delivered from the Kingdom of Ramdarb. It seems that I, who saved the Kingdom of Ramdarb from Floan's evil clutches, am also popular among small children. It's going to be hard to do bad things. What would this child with such a pure heart think if they knew my true nature, which is actually just wanting to slack off, exploit the citizens, create a harem, and do whatever I want? Surely their admiration would be distorted, and they would walk through life in a warped state. I won't stop. I've decided that I'm definitely going to do whatever I want. I look at the hanging scroll in the room. Live without bending your own beliefs. That's right, isn't that the way of evil I'm aiming for? I'm grateful and happy to have received the letter, but whether I'll continue to be the Auga this child admires is a different story. I'll just hope that this child somehow grows up to be a serious and good person. Having reaffirmed my original intentions, I picked up the next letter to shake off the guilt I had unnecessarily felt. Dear Lord Auga, congratulations on receiving the title of saint from His Majesty. I believe that with your heart as clear as the sky and wisdom overflowing like a spring, you will continue to work towards making the world peaceful. Therefore, I would like to ask you, a future hero, to name my child who was born recently. Could you please use just a little of that wisdom for my child? I sincerely hope you will consider my request. I pray from the bottom of my heart for your continued success, Lord Auga. Dan O'Marach. Another letter with outrageous content has arrived. First of all, I'd like to tell the sender, name your own child. A name thoughtfully chosen by loving parents who will shower the child with affection is a lifelong honor, far better than one thought up by a stranger they don't even know. I mean, I can't believe there are actually people who send letters like this. If this continues, it'll be unbearable. But it also feels wrong to ignore letters they've paid good money to send. I read one letter after another, and by the time I finished the last one, I was slumped over the table, exhausted. The reasons are mainly guilt towards children and sincere fans, and disgust towards selfish adults who misunderstand that a saint will do anything for them. To think Auga would end up like this. Sorry, Auga, let me take a look. Saying that, Karen and the others reached for the letters, so I handed them over, avoiding only the ones filled with selfish requests. You don't need to read these. There's no need to see things you're better off not seeing. That won't do. I'm Auga's fiancé, so I need to understand properly. All right. I can't argue against that. Since coming to the mansion, Karen seems to have become more conscious of her role as a fiancé than before. Respecting her will, I hand over even the letters filled with dirty desires. As she opens the letters, Mashiro and Riane peek over her shoulder, reading a few before closing them with a sigh. It's amazing, Auga, to think you already have so many fans. It's just a passing phase. Besides, half of them were unpleasant requests asking for free support. That's right, I was reading along, and even I got a bit angry. Mashiro puffs up her cheeks in frustration. As a commoner who has paved her own way through effort, her thoughts probably didn't align with those of the letter writers. Good job, Auga. You're amazing, so amazing. Mashiro hugs me from behind, praising me. Thanks to Mashiro's bosom pressing against my back, I feel energy welling up inside me. It's okay. We understand how great you are, Auga. Karen also pats my head gently. I'd prefer if she hugged me from the front and sandwiched me between her bountiful breasts, but I'll hold back for now. Then Auga, you're splendid. Working hard every day, never neglecting your studies as a lord or your magical theory research. You're wonderful. Phew. Riene crouches down and whispers many words of praise in my ear. The fact that I almost let out a voice at her last exhale will remain my secret. Wow, is everyone's maternal instinct this strong? Then, if I may be so bold, shall I sing a song praising Lord Auga's greatness? Let's pass on that. As you wish. Sorry, Alice, but it's just too embarrassing. Even in the exchange diary I've started keeping with Alice recently, she writes poems about how great I am. It's embarrassing enough to read those, let alone have them sung in front of me and heard by Mashiro and the others. I don't mention it because it's clearly written in an enjoyable manner, but my spirit is eroded bit by bit every time I read it. I still remember lines like, Lord Auga is the brightest first magnitude star shining in the vast night sky of this world. Anyway, thanks to everyone's praise, I feel much more energized. I should be able to focus on the magic theory studies I've been cramming in place of physical training. Zahi. In an instant, a dull pain shot through my right arm. Oh no, I shouldn't have let my guard down. I accidentally let out a sound of pain. I've been hiding it from Alice, but the truth is, the frequency of these painful sensations has been increasing day by day. When I'm alone, absorbed in work or training, I can bear it. But just now, while chatting with everyone, I let my guard down and couldn't suppress it. Auga. I knew it, your arm is hurting again. Alice. I'll go call the doctor right away. The three of them hurriedly gather around me, and Alice rushes off to call my regular physician. You're overreacting. It was just a little twinge, no need to make a fuss. That expression of agony on your face earlier, it didn't seem like just a minor pain. Riene says this, and Mashiro and Karen nod in agreement. Darn. Was it that obvious on my face? With the three of them witnessing it up close, there's no way to cover it up. I see Father will scold me, saying I still need more training in keeping a poker face. Auga, don't push yourself. It's okay to tell us when you're in pain, you know. I think it's wonderful that you don't want to worry us. But there are times when we want you to be honest and rely on us too, you know. I can say with certainty that Alice feels the same way. Everyone's kindness seeps deeply into my heart. My physical abilities in this world may be overpowered, but perhaps the real cheat is the luck I had in meeting these four. If I hadn't met them, I wouldn't be trying so hard. I might have even ended up joining the ranks of those corrupt nobles that Alice despises. I'm sorry. It seems I wanted to look cool in front of everyone. Geez, you don't need to do that. I already think Auga is. Lord Auga, I've brought the doctor. Thank you, Alice, but I wish you'd waited just a few more seconds. I don't quite understand, but right now, every second of Lord Auga's time is the most precious in the world. This takes priority. You're absolutely right, I'm sorry. Alice arrives, carrying the doctor in a princess carry. Overwhelmed by her intensity, Mashiro was apologizing for something. Lord Auga, could you please tell me in detail how your symptoms have changed from before? Meanwhile, the doctor who was brought here is trying to carry out the job with extreme calmness. As expected of someone my father trusts as our family physician. To remain unfazed even after being brought in via Princess Carrie. Since Alice is listening too, I could try to gloss over it, but the three of them just told me they don't want me to make that choice. It's okay. The issue with my right arm isn't solely Alice's responsibility, and I'm sure she'll do exactly what I ask. The frequency of painful sensations has been increasing day by day. Alice was gritting her teeth so hard it looked like her lips might split, but when she noticed my gaze, she immediately stopped and tried to maintain her usual expression, even if she couldn't quite manage a smile. For better or worse, it feels like we've taken a step forward. For now, I need to decide how to deal with this pain. Father knows about the symptoms, but I haven't told him about the worsening yet. Can this world's medical science really cure it? I've tried the prescribed medicines like painkillers, but their effect is minimal. I've been unconsciously putting it off because I'm afraid of what might happen if it can't be cured. If it can't be cured, that would be the same as being told I'm useless in battle. Then I wouldn't be able to protect everyone. I absolutely don't want that. Such immature hesitation had been dulling my decision-making. Father will probably be angry, but it's my own fault. I'll accept it gracefully. Lord Auga, I'll examine you again. Please let me know if you feel any pain or discomfort. All right, I'm counting on you. There will be many issues arising from my actions as a saint and new relationships. But first, I need to do something about this arm pain. I glared at my arm, which wasn't returning to its normal condition and was becoming less and less useful. Section. In the end, I still haven't received an accurate diagnosis for the pain in my arm. However, after everyone's advice, I wrote a letter to my father about the symptoms, and a ray of hope appeared. Surprisingly, it seems my father will bring someone who might know about my condition. This is incredibly helpful, given that there's a clear deadline to heal completely before the final battle with Floan. The sooner, the better. How foolish I was to have neglected this for so long, overconfident in my God-given body. I had my priorities wrong. Father is supposed to bring this person tonight, so how am I killing time until then? Here you go, Augakun. Say ah. Does anything hurt? Your right shoulder still seems quite stiff. Please try this fruit too. It's very sweet and delicious. I'm being pampered by Mashiro, Karen, and Riene, all dressed in maid outfits. I'm seated in the middle of the room's sofa, with Mashiro on my left and Riene on my right, taking turns feeding me fruit snacks. Karen is behind me, diligently massaging my shoulders. Since the day I confessed about my arm symptoms, the four girls have become increasingly attentive. Even though Alice was already taking care of me due to my right arm being incapacitated, with these three added, it's become nothing short of heaven. Arm pain, please don't go away. Floan, please don't attack. As long as I have this paradise, I'm confident I could endure for a month. I wish I could postpone the full recovery until after that. Just kidding. Of course, I'm joking. I can't say such irresponsible things, but I'd be lying if I said a small part of me didn't mean it. It's Augakun Pampering Week. Please enjoy it to the fullest. We all prepared this thinking Augakun would like it. Our plan was a great success. Mashiro pokes me in the side, grinning. Her maid outfit is slightly different from those worn by the maids in our household. That slight difference makes a big impact, clearly designed to appeal to men. I had a feeling about this, but it seems the women have figured out my fondness for breasts. That must be why Mashiro's maid outfit has such a daring neckline. The maid outfit is cut in a heart shape, centered to reveal her cleavage. Naturally, Mashiro's voluptuous breasts are on full display. Noticing my gaze fixed on one spot, she grins and pushes them together, emphasizing them even more. Whoa, they're huge. I deserve credit for not saying that out loud. Oh, Yugakun, where are you looking? Riene, give me that fruit. Yes, of course, say ah. Unable to reply, I open my mouth as Riene feeds me a slice of apple. Ah, he dodged the question. Mashiro protests, hugging my left arm and pressing herself against me. Since I was wearing short sleeves to keep cool, our skin ends up in direct contact. This girl, she knows exactly what she's doing. I can directly feel her slightly sweaty, smooth skin, and my brain is slowly being flooded with peachy thoughts. Today's teasing is particularly intense. I've never experienced such an aggressive approach before, and all I can do is be on the defensive. Damn, I curse my lack of experience with women in my previous life. Augakun. There are 3 of us here, so it's troubling if you don't look at me too. My cheek is grabbed and I'm turned towards Riene. She's smiling, but her eyes aren't. It's the same smile she had before our battle in the Ramdarb Kingdom. In other words, she's angry. Come to think of it, I haven't heard your thoughts on my maid outfit. Do you have any comments? Asked like that, I have no choice but to take a good look and give my opinion. The white frilled headband is cute. Unlike Mashiro, her neckline isn't open, but there's a large ribbon attached instead, making it fancy and cute. The skirt is, Hey, Riene. Yes, what is it? Isn't that a bit too short? I couldn't believe my eyes. The skirt Riene is wearing is incredibly short. It's not just above the knee, it barely covers half of her thighs, an ultra mini skirt. From under the skirt, garter belts stretch out to hold up black stockings. My gaze is drawn to the exposed skin sandwiched between the skirt and stockings. No, wait. Just the garter belt alone makes it suddenly very alluring, but with black stockings on top of that. Riene notices my gaze fixed exactly where she expected, and crosses her legs, switching their position. She deftly kicks off her shoes and wiggles her toes up and down. The skirt, so short it makes you wonder if you might catch a glimpse underneath, sways with her movement. I'm currently under a relentless assault from the absolute territory. Don't worry, I've calculated perfectly so nothing shows. However, Riene leans on me, careful not to touch my right arm. Her ticklish breath plays with my ear. If Aoga-kun says he wants to see, I wouldn't mind lifting it up a bit. She says this while lightly pinching the hem of her skirt. Me too. If Aoga-kun wants to see, I could pull this down a bit more. Mashiro counters by tugging on the heart-shaped hole in her outfit. If she pulls it to one side, something would definitely spill out. Hey, we need you to decide. Which one will you choose first? A dead or alive situation presented from both sides. Oh, what the hell am I supposed to do? Aoga-kun. Boobs, Aoga-kun. But, both of you, let's stop this wild behavior in front of your official fiancé, shall we? An elbow digs into my shoulder. In this situation, there's only one person who can damage my shoulder like this. As we all look up together, Karen, who had been left out, stands with her hands on her hips, looking displeased. I've been wanting to say this clearly for a while now, but haven't both Mashiro-san and Riene-san forgotten something? Karen reaches out to me from behind, as if embracing something precious. Aoga's fiancé is only one person, Karen Levizenka me alone. Please don't overdo it. Grrrr. HMPH. Mashiro can't argue back, because it's an undeniable fact. Karen's triumphant smile is cute, which is rare for her. Come on, Aoga, look at me properly too. They only had smaller sizes, but does it suit me? Karen pinches the edge of her skirt and twirls on the spot. The long skirt and her ponytail describe a circle, which is very elegant. It's a classical type of maid uniform with over-the-knee socks, but as she said, because the size doesn't fit, her chest, butt, everything is bursting at the seams. Her body lines are clearly visible, making Karen's great figure obvious at a glance. This is poisonous to the eyes in its own way, the case of all my maids being too sexy. Come to think of it, the professional isn't here, is she? I think Alice-san is making the bed. That's strange. After all, my bedroom is right here, which has become the maid party venue. If she, my personal attendant, were to make the bed, it would be the bed in this room. Sorry, I wasn't clear enough. A king-size bed was delivered to the guest room, so she's setting that up for use. King-size, why? Why, you ask? There's only one thing we can do using a big bed with us, isn't there? Look forward to tonight, Aoga-kun. The three of them exchange glances, then turn their eyes towards me and let out giggles. What am I supposed to look forward to? What is it? What? Calm down, Aoga Velvet, it hasn't been decided yet, but if that's the case, I need to say it first. It's okay. As long as I have time, I can prepare myself. We still have plenty of time until then, so let's take it easy. Is there anything you want us to do, Aoga-kun? Feel free to tell us anything. Well, it seems like they'd listen to any request I make right now. Honestly, I think I'd be happy just being smothered by the three of them. But is it okay to fulfill that wish here and now? Remember what everyone said earlier. There's no doubt that a fun event awaits in bed tonight. They didn't state it clearly, but there should only be one answer to that. If so, by holding back here, the pleasure tonight will be all the more incredible. Well, how about the four of us play a card game? Just as I was about to suggest that, there was a knock at the door. Aoga-sama, are you there? The voice belongs to my sword, who should be busy making the bed. What is it, Alice? Did something happen? Gordon-sama has brought a guest and would like you to come to the hall. I understand. Tell him I'll be there right away. Certainly. It seems my father has returned earlier than I thought. Knowing him, he must have chosen the fastest, shortest route possible. Sadly, this means our fun time is over for now. You three I'll go ahead, so change your clothes and come to the hall after. We obviously can't meet guests while wearing these modified maid uniforms. After burning the image of everyone in their maid uniforms into my memory, I reluctantly left the room. Section 7 people were now gathered in the hall. Me, Mashiro, Karen, Riene, Alice, plus my father and his guest. However, that guest was the problem. At the very least, he was not someone who should be dragged around for a personal matter. Father, it seems you love surprising people. What are you saying? Of course I'd use the best messenger for my beloved son's sake. My son should have expected this much. Still the same doting parent, I see. Boy, I've heard about you from this guy so much my ears could grow calluses, and I was also present at your recent saint succession ceremony. You know me too, don't you? No need for unnecessary exchanges. Thank you. I never imagined a magician of your caliber would be subjected to my father's boasting. Of course. After all, Auga might create a new era of magic. He's such a prodigy. Please stop saying arbitrary things, father. Gehahaha. My father laughs heartily, while the person sitting next to him visibly frowns, looking annoyed. This person's name is known not just in the kingdom of Rondism, but probably throughout the world. Raideneth Cabunica. The head of one of the 4 great ducal families, the Cabunica family, and the one rumored to be the strongest state magician in the kingdom of Rondism. State magician is also a title bestowed by His Majesty the King, just like saint. The reason Raideneth-san was chosen is that he achieved the most results in past wars against demon tribes. Yes, he's the man who slaughtered more demon tribe members than even Flown Milfonte. In other words, the white-haired old man before me is a powerful individual who has accumulated such achievements. His face is wrinkled and his back is hunched, but one must not be deceived by his aged appearance. It's clear when you face him. The overwhelming flow of magical power that surpasses mine, pressing down on me. This is the power of the world's strongest magician. HOAT your age, you can see through my disguise, boy. For some reason, Cabunica-san's mouth curls up into a smile as I'm overwhelmed by his abilities. Was there an exchange that put him in a good mood? No, more importantly, there was an unfamiliar term just now. I apologize for my ignorance. By disguise, you mean. I see. Because you saw through it at first glance, you don't understand. Let me explain it simply. To everyone else except you, my magical power appears like this. The enormous presence of magical power from earlier shrinks unbelievably, becoming as thin as that of a student at Rishberg Magic Academy. Is such a thing possible? It is possible. If you can manipulate magic circuits, it's easy. Magic circuits. That too, huh? Only people from the old days use this term. Listen up. Magic circuits are, as the name suggests, organs for conducting magical power. They're spread throughout the body like blood vessels, but they can't be visually perceived. Their approximate locations are understood by the flow of magical power. Saying this, Cabunica-san moves his concentrated magical power from his right arm to his right leg, and left arm. This is similar to my limit transcendence change. Well, did you feel the mass of magical power moving? Why yes, it circulated from the right arm, going around once. This is what it means to manipulate magic circuits. Manipulating magic circuits. Until just now, I was reducing the amount of magical power flowing through my magic circuits. Well, once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it too, boy. It seems you have a natural talent for manipulating magical power. Cabunica-san touches my right arm, skillfully cutting off the bandage with magic, and stares intently at the exposed arm. I suppose you concentrated your magical power in this arm and overused it, didn't you? Why yes, that's right. HMPH, doing such reckless things. Oh, I swallow hard. He read the cause of my condition just by looking at it once. This person might know how to heal my arm. Everyone watching from behind relaxed a little as the prospect of treatment seemed to emerge. Well, Raideneth, can Auga's arm be healed? It's impossible. However, not everything always goes well. This boy's magic circuits in his right arm are completely damaged. The cause of the pain is also because the magic circuits are broken. Ordinary doctors wouldn't be able to understand this. Cabunica-san traces his finger over my right arm. There are many damaged areas. If it was just one spot, something might have been possible, but with this much damage, you probably won't be able to manipulate magical power as before. What happens when magic circuits are damaged? Magical power can't flow through the damaged parts. In other words, this boy's right arm is now useless. I see, so my right arm is. No way, why Auga? After working so hard for everyone's sake. Karen and Mashiro are crying in my place. Riene bites her lip in frustration, and Alice grips her own arm so tightly that her nails dig in. It's all right, everyone. Thank you for worrying about me. I approach the 4 of them and hug each one to reassure them. Watching this scene, Cabunica-san, who had been explaining, gives me a puzzled look. You're quite calm, aren't you? Even though you must stand on the battlefield with Flown as a saint. I have precious comrades, and a right arm more capable than this one. August-sama. Saying this, I grab Alice's hand, which was about to harm herself. No way, I won't allow any harm to come to that beautiful skin of yours. Alice, no matter how many times I'm asked, no matter what the outcome, I don't regret my actions. The only truth is that she's by my side because of my efforts. I wipe away the tears gathered in her eyes with my index finger and turn back to Miss Kabunica. To begin with, my right arm was already on the verge of being severed, so even having it connected was a stroke of luck, you could say. Besides, I'm used to these kinds of setbacks. After all, my second life started with the disadvantage of being a noble, without any magic aptitude. But by steadily accumulating time, I gained the weapons to break through such headwinds. That's how I've lived my life. Certainly, this incident is a major setback in the battle against Floan. However, an obstacle of this level isn't enough to make Auga Velet give up. If I can't use my right arm, I'll just have to create new techniques that take that into account. To fulfill my ambitions, he's an opponent I must defeat no matter what. It's been a while since I've seen someone with such spirit. The words muttered were too quiet to hear clearly, but it seems he wasn't exasperated at all. The expression on Mr. Kabunica's face as he looked at me was very lively. Those little girls were hasty, but it's not like there's nothing we can do. We just need to prepare a new magic circuit. Can you do that? Yes. Magic circuits can be created anew by channeling magic power. But your right arm is already densely packed with magic circuits, so there's no room for more. Raideneth, don't beat around the bush. Tell me what I need to do for my son. Prepare a doctor who can perform precise amputation surgery on the right arm. The atmosphere that had just started to brighten suddenly grew heavy. Amputating the right arm. Discarding a part of the body that was born healthy. You're not joking, are you? Of course not. And then, attach a prosthetic arm in its place. But not just any prosthetic will do. If we use a prosthetic made as a magical tool, we can create new magic circuits. I see. Magical tools are made with metals that conduct magic power. So by channeling magic power through it, we can create magic circuits as well. If you understand it's not a lie, quickly arrange tickets for the wing ship airship to that city. It's a race against time. Understood, Raideneth, I owe you one. HMPH, it's just the whim of a senile old man. Now then, boy, you lot should prepare for your journey too. You've already made up your mind, haven't you? I'll have to apologize to Mother later. For treating the body she painfully gave birth to so carelessly. I came out of curiosity, but I've found something quite interesting. Mr. Kabunica laughed out loud for the first time with a caw-caw-caw and pointed out our destination with his aged finger. Head to the independent mechanical city of Encarton. There, you should be able to get a prosthetic arm worthy of a saint boy. Section, from then on time passed in a flurry. Especially since the independent mechanical city of Encarton is located beyond the royal capital from the Velet domain. We had to use the wing ship airship to get there. The wing ship airship is one of the few air transportation methods in this era. And in the Kingdom of Rondism, it only lands in the royal capital and the territories of the 4 great ducal houses. Even the number of flights is few, so tickets are always in high demand. This time, Father happened to secure 5 tickets to Encarton immediately, and coincidentally, we were the only passengers on that flight. Departure is scheduled for early tomorrow morning. As a result, we had to hurry to prepare for the trip, and everyone is probably already in the world of dreams in their respective rooms, getting ready for tomorrow. As for me, I'm lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. By the way, Mr. Kabunica simply flew back using magic. The uniformity of his magic control was unsettling. Well, I guess it's time to address what I've been overlooking. Alice. I thought I told you to leave. After she helped me pack, I told her to return to her room, but she was still standing next to the bed. But I'm not that dense. I can guess what she wants to do, what she's trying to do. In that case, I should take the initiative. Lord Auga, I'm sorry. Would you sleep beside me? Hey. I remember clearly. Mashiro and the others saying they were looking forward to tonight. Alice carefully making the bed. Unfortunately, we have to start early tomorrow morning. So the 3 of them aren't here, and this isn't the guest room, but Alice probably stayed in the room due to her excessive loyalty to me. She's been unusually eager to say something all this time, probably waiting for the right moment to bring it up. Lord Auga, Alice, as you wish. When I called her name, She slowly climbed onto the bed and came to my side. I pulled her arm to lay her down next to me and covered her with the blanket. I could only do this smoothly because it was Alice. If it were Mashiro and the others, I wouldn't have been able to handle things this smoothly. In fact, they would have taken the lead as usual, and I would have inevitably acted like the virgin I am. Well, considering I'm a virgin even including my past life, it can't be helped to some extent. I reach out to stroke her beautiful golden hair. Alice then begins to apologize with a very pained expression, tears falling. Lord Auga, I don't deserve such kindness. To have made you make such a decision. My right arm, which has regained its freedom after being fixed for so long, is embraced by her. Ah, so that's what Alice wanted to talk about. This is bad. I've done something embarrassing due to a misunderstanding. As I rack my brain for a way to recover from this blunder, I decide that calming Alice down takes priority. I certainly don't want her to serve me while bearing a sense of guilt. It was the price necessary to save you, Alice. That's all there is to it. Are you saying that the choice your master made was wrong? She opens her mouth to argue, but buries her face in my chest, as if to hide her conflicted emotions. I gently place my hand on her head and embrace her. Lord Auga, you're a cunning person. When you say it like that, I'm left with nothing to say. I understand well that Alice is a person with a strong sense of responsibility. So, sleeping next to me like this is your punishment. How's that? That isn't a punishment at all, Lord Auga. Alice hugs me back tightly. If it weren't for that choice back then, I wouldn't have this warmth in my arms now. No matter how many times she comes to apologize, I won't blame her. It was the result of my own decision to save her, so complaining about it would be far too petty. Rather, I'm excited. Since the prosthetic arm is a magical tool, I'm thinking we might be able to try out some unprecedented gimmicks. Modification is a dream that every man has had at least once. Of course, I've been down that road too. That's why I don't have much aversion to cutting off my right arm and attaching a prosthetic. This will undoubtedly be an opportunity to become even stronger. I want to include either a rocket punch or a flamethrower. A hidden blade might be good too. In my case, I'm stronger fighting barehanded though. I'm sure you can do it, Lord Auga. I'll probably ask for your opinion again, Alice. Will you lend me your strength? Of course. All of my knowledge of propriety. Everything for you, Lord Auga. Looking at her now, it seems I've managed to dispel the dark emotions in her heart. And it looks like I've successfully covered up my misunderstanding as well. Not only did I cover it up, but I even managed to sleep next to her. Talk about killing two birds with one stone. It seems my genius intellect shines even in situations like this. But sleeping next to Alice, who said she wanted to be my wife. This is practically like being married already, isn't it? Come on, let's go to sleep. Yes, like this. Our usual bedtime is approaching, and consciousness is starting to shift to sleep mode. Good night, Lord Auga. After letting out a yawn, I use Alice as a body pillow and drift off to sleep. Stage 4.3, a daughter aiming for the world's best. The wingship airship is a rare mode of transportation that utilizes wind attribute magic for air travel. Unlike the airships of the previous world, it constantly floats and propels itself using magic, allowing it to carry more passengers at once. While there are no private rooms in the passenger compartment connected to the hull, the spacious area allows each person to enjoy the scenery from seats arranged along the windows. Wow, amazing, amazing. Look, Auga, the houses and fields look so tiny. Thanks to the reduced turbulence, similar to the magic ship we rode to Ramdarb, Mashiro was excitedly tugging at my clothes. Yeah, you're right. The view is beautiful. I, too, was experiencing my first ride on a wingship airship. It's quite thrilling. Unlike airplanes that fly above the clouds, the wingship airship doesn't reach such high altitudes, but it has its own unique charm. I wonder what Incarton will be like. I'm so excited. According to the guidebook, it's known for accepting many immigrants, so various cultures have developed there. Shall we all explore the city when we arrive? That sounds great. I have some shops I'd like to visit too. Incarton is now famous as a thriving commercial and tourist city, so I'm sure we'll have plenty to enjoy. Oh, that's right. Should I give a brief explanation for Mashiro's sake? Thank you, Riane-san, please do. It's my pleasure. I think knowing a bit of history will make the sightseeing more enjoyable. Indeed, I've heard that having some information about a place can change how you perceive it. compared to knowing nothing at all. Especially since Encartan is in a location that would be difficult to reach without the wingship airship, Mashiro probably never had the chance to research it before. Riene cleared her throat slightly and began to explain its origins. Section: The independent mechanical city of Encartan was originally just a barren wasteland. Due to its open terrain, it was highly susceptible to attacks from monsters in all directions, and the nutrient-poor soil made it difficult to grow food. The people who settled in this land, which no country wanted to claim, were refugees fleeing from even worse conditions in various countries. What they had in common was their suffering under heavy taxation. Despite speaking different languages, it didn't take long for these refugees with shared experiences to come together. The refugees were all of common birth. Unable to use magic, they needed weapons to drive away monsters. A blacksmith among them began teaching his skills to the others, and they quickly developed their technical abilities. The weapons they made with their own hands directly contributed to the peace of their lives. No help would come from others. Only they could carve out their future. This environment, where they constantly lived on the edge of death, dramatically improved their technical skills. The wooden fences surrounding them were replaced with iron ones, and the settlement began to resemble a fortress. As rumors spread, more refugees joined, and the village grew into a city. The invention that significantly increased Encartan's value was magical devices. In particular, the creation of precise magical weapons using magic stones is said to be possible only by Encartan's mechanical engineers, and to this day, the technology has not leaked to the outside world. This is how the independent mechanical city of Encartan rose to prominence, relying on their own skills. That's the basic information. During our wingship airship journey, we were grateful for Professor Riene's lecture to pass the time. Of course, Karen and I had already learned about the history of the kingdom and surrounding countries from our tutors in the past, but Mashiro's eyes were shining with excitement at this new information. I have a question. If it became such an amazing city, didn't any other countries try to take it over? I've heard that Encartan refused to accept any country ruled by the nobles who had oppressed them. Also here, use this to look out the window. Mashiro did as instructed and peered through the telescope installed by the window. She was surprised by what she saw. There are so many monsters down there. Just as Mashiro said, below us were grotesque creatures, the enemies of humankind, roaming about. This has been one of the problems troubling countries that wanted to incorporate Encartan since ancient times. There are many dangerous monsters on the land route to Encartan. Originally, it was an uninhabited area where monsters had settled. Wait a minute. Then, before the city was built, there must have been terrible casualties. Without a doubt. That's why the people of Encartan cherish the will of their ancestors and call themselves the independent mechanical city, not belonging to any country. By the way, for the same reason, the power of nobles is completely ineffective in Encartan. It's also famous for only accepting orders for magical devices through a complete reservation system, requiring direct visits to the workshop. To add to that, while they refuse subjugation, they do engage in trade. Even this wingship airship we're on was funded by the Kingdom of Rondism and manufactured by Encartan. Wow! Mashiro's eyes sparkled at this new information. Her excitement was so apparent that I could almost visualize her tail wagging left and right as she leaned forward, eager to hear more. The fact that they're willing to spend a fortune to improve transportation shows how attractive Encartan is. Since it's a city formed by people from various countries, its culture is unique and interesting. The surrounding area is harsh land full of monsters. So, the demand for entertainment is very high. And with their advanced technology, you can find many things there that you won't see even in the royal capital. Of course, the cuisine that Mashiro is most looking forward to is also overflowing with dishes from all over the world. GJs, I'm not that much of a glut. Mashiro puffed out her cheeks in protest. Although she says this, I can already imagine her being tempted by food stalls left and right when we reach Encartan. I should prepare some extra money. But everyone, you're all amazing. Amazing. Yes, Riene-san, Karen-san, and Aoga-kun can all explain things so fluently. It made me realize how little I know about the world. I need to study more. Mashiro, you've got your hands full with magic studies right now, so it can't be helped. No, I've been with Aoga-kun for half a year now. I can't keep relying on others forever. Besides, it wouldn't be appropriate for a noble's wife to be so ignorant. Alice reacted to the word wife. She's fidgeting a little bit. What about Alice-san? Me? I'm sorry, I'm still not very knowledgeable either, certainly not as much as the three of you. We're the same then. Mashiro happily hugs Alice, having found a kindred spirit. Alice, with her impressive core strength, received Mashiro without wavering. That's both pleasing and somewhat sad. In essence, they've been classified as the lacking knowledge group, so Alice can't wholeheartedly rejoice either. Hee hee. Mashiro-san, your cheerfulness is always wonderful. Yeah, I wanted to avoid the atmosphere getting too heavy, so it's a real help. Alice-san smells like Aoga-kun. In an instant, the cheerful atmosphere died. Aoga-kun. First, my shoulders were firmly grasped from both sides, eliminating any chance of escape. While maintaining a calm expression, my back was drenched in cold sweat. In all likelihood, this was due to last night's co-sleeping incident. But don't underestimate my genius intellect. I'll get through this situation without a hitch. This morning, Alice helped me change clothes. She might have held my clothes then. Yes, Aoga-sama said he would put on his trousers himself, so I was holding his top during that time. Mashiro's gaze pierced through me. Now which way would the verdict go? I see. You really scared me there. Having received a not guilty verdict, I mentally did a victory pose. Hearing Mashiro's judgment, Karen and Riane also released me. However, this feels like a husband trying to hide an affair, which I don't like. If I have to go through this, I should propose to everyone sooner. Wait, no. What's wrong, Mashiro? Did you want to hug me this time? Yes, that's right. I wanted to do this to Aoga-kun. Before I knew it, she had come over from Alice and buried her face in my chest. Wait a minute, this situation, isn't it quite dangerous? Just as I realized this, Mashiro gave a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Oh my, why does Aoga-kun also smell so much like Alice-san? What followed happened quickly. My shoulders were grasped even more firmly than before, and the free hand grabbed my belt tightly. This effectively prevented me from even standing up. Of course, Alice, who would never abandon me, remained motionless. Kyukuku. So this is what they call a predicament. It's more terrifying than I had imagined. I'd really like a full explanation of what's going on here. Yes, I'd very much like to hear about this too. We have plenty of time until we reach Incarton, right, Aoga? Aoga-sama. And so, the interrogation of Alice and me by the three continued as promised until we reached Incarton. Section. To state the conclusion, they found out that I had slept together with Alice last night. Aoga-sama is not at fault. It was my weak heart that was to blame. Aoga-sama was merely comforting me when I rashly tried to cut off my arm to take responsibility. When you put it that way, we can't really say anything. Although the circumstances were what they were, I was ultimately forgiven. By the way, I kept quiet about the fact that I had wanted to sleep next to Alice from start to finish, as that would obviously cause trouble. Somehow Mashiro and the others' flames of jealousy were extinguished, and we were supposed to head to the workshop. Or so I thought, but I'm walking alone on the road to the workshop recommended by Kabunika-san. I never imagined I'd be going alone. Mashiro and the others, who had been so looking forward to sightseeing, are nowhere to be seen. As soon as we arrived at the airport, they said, "We four have an important discussion about our future, so could you go to the workshop alone, Aoga? We'll leave our luggage at the inn we've reserved, so please join us there once you're done with the negotiations. Depending on the circumstances, it could affect our future. Lord Aoga, I'll be fine. It's something I thought we'd have to talk about eventually. I'll definitely survive this battle." And with that, we went our separate ways. I couldn't understand why they were talking about life and death when it was just supposed to be a discussion, but there was no way I could help. The four of them headed straight to the inn where we were staying, without even glancing at other facilities. This is just my guess, but they're probably going to talk about Alice's feelings. Sleeping next to Alice, which had never happened before. She had always clearly drawn the line as master and servant, so they must have sensed that something had changed in our relationship. Even without that, she had been noticeably overprotective since I damaged my right arm. There's no way Mashiro and the others hadn't noticed this change. I guess I can't keep hesitating forever. This situation happened because I hid the fact that I slept with Alice. Like the incident in the carriage, I felt guilty towards Mashiro and the others. If I had told the three of them earlier that I wanted them by my side, this situation wouldn't have happened. In the end, my weakness was the reason I made excuses and didn't step into the realm of romance. Past trauma had prevented me from developing romantic relationships. Alice gave me an incredibly powerful blow to break down my walls. Think about it. You can't always express your feelings. The battle with Flynn in the worst-case scenario, I might die. Before that, I want to tell the four of them. I have to tell them. I'll tell them when I get back to the inn. Not all at once, but face to face with each of them. The moment I decided, my heart started pounding unusually hard. I feel an increasing urge to finish the business at the workshop quickly. But if I rush the negotiations, I won't get a good prosthetic arm. Since this is the most fundamental part, I need to concentrate the most during these interactions. Trying to suppress my impatience, I walked towards the Luluden workshop, as recommended by Kabunika-san. Section. The workshop, said to be the symbol of Inkartan, was a massive building that made my neck hurt just looking up at it. Surely with this scale, they could make the best prosthetic arm for me. The question is when it will be ready, but I need to talk to them first before anything can start. My father told me not to worry about the budget and to get something I'm satisfied with. The battle with Flynn, in other words, it's a matter of my life. I intended not to hold back and to pursue the best performance. That was the plan, but considering the waiting time for reservations, your requested prosthetic arm would be completed in 10 years. How would you like to proceed? I'll have to reconsider. Understood. Please note that if you visit us again, it may take even longer than this time. As expected of the largest workshop in Inkartan. I never imagined it would take this long. It was beyond my expectations. In 10 years, Flynn would probably have already conquered this world with force and vice. I'll take a walk around the workshop to organize my thoughts and decide whether to ask again. As I walked, I started thinking about other options. But to think that even Kabunika-san's letter of introduction meant nothing. This city seems to be extremely strict. In the kingdom of Rondism, Kabunika-san's letter of introduction would probably grant free access even to the royal castle. That's how influential he is, but in this city, he's just another customer. No more, no less. Thanks to the will of the people in this city, I can walk around freely without disguise, but what should I do? Should I try other workshops? But if that results in lower performance, it would be troublesome. I don't want to compromise on this prosthetic arm. The Luludan workshop, which even the discerning Kabunika-san uses, is undoubtedly better than any place I could find by searching randomly. Should I just tell them that the peace of the world depends on my right arm? Even then, they probably wouldn't agree. That's understandable. There are many strong individuals in countries other than the kingdom of Rondism. From the perspective of the people of Inkartan who don't know the circumstances, what difference could a single student make? It's natural to be perceived this way. In that case, I guess I have no choice but to make a reservation and hope for some kind of miracle. Uwaya. An alto voice suddenly interrupted my thoughts. I raised my head, which had been lowered, to see a girl with navy blue hair tied on one side lying in the middle of the road. Next to her stood a burly man wearing a welding mask. He was so big that he might have been close to 2 meters tall. I told you I won't hire you at my workshop, you brat. Why not? There are worse mechanical engineers than me. I'm the boss of this workshop, and I decide. No matter what reason you have, if I say you're not accepted, then you're not accepted in our place. That's unreasonable. That's how it works in my workshop. If you understand, go find another workshop to hire you. Hey, wait a minute. I'm not done talking, you stupid father. Have I stumbled upon an incredible scene? From the conversation I just heard, the giant man must be Dude Luludan, the head of the Luludan workshop and also the representative of Inkartan. And the side ponytail girl is his daughter. And she's hungry for work at the workshop. This might be a stroke of luck from heaven. Hey, that's enough. Let go of me, you stupid daughter. As she desperately tried to keep Dude in place by pulling on his work clothes, his thick arm swung towards her cheek. However, his hand never struck her, because I stepped in between them and caught it. Isn't this going a bit too far? Hi. Dude Luludan and his daughter, who hadn't stopped at his daughter's restraint, both turned their gaze towards me. Good, I managed to stop them for now. I'm sorry for the sudden interruption. I overheard a bit of your conversation. Then you should have just walked away quietly. Outsiders shouldn't interfere in family quarrels. You have a point, but I just happen to have some business to discuss. I'd like you to hear me out. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to sway me with that? Dude Luludan glared at me and rolled up his sleeves, showing clear hostility. An ordinary person might do that, but I won't let him underestimate me. This genius won't step on such an obvious landmine. In the first place, such interactions often backfire with craftsman-like people. No, that's not it. If what I heard earlier is true, I wanted to ask if I could commission her without going through the Luludan workshop. Me. Saying that, I pointed at the girl who was still sitting on the ground. The person in question was surprised, not understanding why this had happened, but it was a natural flow of events. The important part was the snippet of their argument from earlier. Why not? There are worse mechanical engineers than me. I'm the boss of this workshop, and I decide. No matter what reason you have, if I say you're not accepted, then you're not accepted in our place. Dude Luludan didn't deny her statement. In other words, she has enough skill to be useful in the Luludan workshop, even acknowledged by him, the greatest mechanical engineer in the city. And currently, she's free. It's only natural to act quickly to secure her before someone else does. That's why I wanted your clear permission. I want to avoid any trouble later on. As expected, those who become the heart of an era are drawn to each other. I couldn't catch the words he muttered, but the impression wasn't bad. Actually, with such an impressive physique, don't speak so softly. What if the words I couldn't hear were important keywords for the future? As the head of the Luludan workshop, I guarantee it. Do as you like with that stupid daughter. Wait a minute, hey you. The girl stood up and came at me. She had just been saying she wanted to work at the Luludan workshop. I thought she might be angry about the job offer proceeding without her input, but that wasn't the case. Are you sure you want me? She seemed quite eager. She stood next to me, put her arm around my shoulder, and gave me a happy-looking smile. One thing, I want to confirm something with you too. Oh, what is it? Is your skill really good enough to be useful among the mechanical engineers at the Luludan workshop? Of course. I've been honing my skills as a mechanic since I was little. I'm on a whole different level from those other guys. The side ponytailed girl speaks with overflowing confidence. Surely, a mere braggart couldn't talk this big. Then it's settled. I want to hire you. Leave it to me. Look at that, you shitty old man, I've got a client. She seems to be in an exceptionally good mood, probably thinking she's taught her father a lesson. She must be delighted to have acquired a customer right in front of her disparaging father. However, Dude Luludan doesn't even raise an eyebrow. HMPH, don't forget the approaching deadline for your promise. Hey, is that all you've got to say? As expected, her protests are meaningless, and he returns to his workshop after saying just that. Damn it, whatever. I'll definitely make him eat his words. Oh, sorry about that. Do you have something to apologize for? Well, for showing you something unsightly. My old man's attitude was so brusque, I wondered if it made you uncomfortable. That was nothing to worry about. If anything, I found it rather amusing. After all, I see it as nothing more than a quarrel between a rebellious daughter and her stubborn father. It's not good to get physically involved, but other than that, it didn't particularly bother me. You've got guts for someone so young, not backing down an inch from that shitty old man, boy. I don't mean to brag, but I'd like to think I've had my fair share of experiences. Is that so? I like you. I'm glad you're my customer, boy. The feeling's mutual. I've managed to find a skilled mechanic who doesn't need a waiting period. I'll make sure you won't regret your judgment, you can count on that. She thumps her ample chest confidently and pulls me closer. It's not right to keep standing around in this dusty place. Shall we head to my house and get down to business, boy? Section, we move from the bustling center to a quiet residential area. Among the many impressive buildings standing in a row, the place she led me to was a shabby house at the very edge of Encartan, so close to the edge that the inner wall of the fortress was right in front of us. It seems she's the only resident, as she casually tosses out a single cushion from a closet. Want something to drink? Sorry, I've only got water though. I'm not particularly thirsty, I'm fine. Is that so? Ice cold water is the best for a heated body, you know. She drinks the cold water straight from the bottle and wipes her moistened lips with a satisfied phew, as if she had just drunk alcohol. There was no smell of alcohol, so it must have really been just water. Let's start with introductions. I'm Yuri Luludon. I'm a 20-year-old freelance mechanic. If you heard the argument earlier, you probably know I'm Dude Luludon's only daughter. I'm confident in my abilities. Sitting across from me at the low table, she flexes her muscles. Her tank top reveals a glimpse of her sports bra from the side. Her navel is completely exposed, showing her carefree nature. She doesn't seem to mind at all, thankfully. She's wearing proper work pants below. It's hard to know where to look, I think to myself as I introduce myself, trying not to appear suspicious. Auga Velet, I'm from a ducal family in the kingdom of Rondism. Oh, a nobleman, how is it? This town must be difficult for you, right? Not at all. In fact, it's the perfect environment for me. Until now, I hadn't been in the public eye, so my face wasn't well known, but in the kingdom of Rondism, I'm already known as Auga Velet the Saint. In other words, a celebrity. Both good and bad, it attracts all kinds of attention. The letter I received recently is a good example of that, but as her reaction shows, there are few people in this town interested in me. It seems my name as the Saint hasn't reached here yet. In other words, the possibility of me being able to do as I please without worrying about public opinion still lies dormant in Encartan. I might not be the one to say this, but you're a strange one, aren't you, Mr. Nobleman? I'll take that as a compliment, and you can keep calling me boy. That's great. It's easier for me that way too. Yuri laughs heartily, slapping her thighs. So, what do you want me to make for you, boy? A sword, a shield, I can make anything. An arm. An arm. Yes. I want you to make a prosthetic arm for combat. Saying this, I place my right arm on the low table. This right arm is no longer usable. I plan to amputate it soon. So, I want you to make a prosthetic arm to replace it. Amputate, boy. How much have you pushed yourself at such a young age? It was only necessary for me to stay true to my beliefs. I look straight at Yuri. My words are my honest feelings, without any lies or deception. I don't need anyone's sympathy, nor do I want to be worried about. No one can deny my determination. I haven't pushed myself too hard, nor do I have any regrets. As I say this, Yuri opens her black eyes wide, lifting her lips to reveal her canine teeth. The courage to confront that shitty old man head-on. I thought you were something special, but I didn't expect this much. I seem to have underestimated you, boy. She apologizes and bows her head. To be honest, I was thinking of playing a little trick on you. No fool would suddenly request a job from an unknown mechanic like me. I thought you were probably after my shitty old man, but I've changed my mind. She stands up and takes out a large wooden box from the closet where she had earlier pulled out the cushion. Peering into the box placed on the low table, I see it's filled with numerous magical tools. These are the magical tools I've made so far. Of course, they're all my confident works. Speaking of weapons, here's this hilt. What she takes out could be described as a sword without a blade. A hilt with a guard. It's really just the handle part. When you infuse this with magical power and swing it. Magic aptitude mainly manifests in nobles, but everyone has magical power. Otherwise, the residents of Encartan, a gathering of commoners, wouldn't be able to create magical tools, and magical tools wouldn't be so widespread in the general public. However, the amount of magical power most commoners possess is truly minuscule, with exceptions like Mashiro being outliers. History proves this. Responding to her small amount of magical power, the blade that had been folded inside the hilt shoots out vigorously, transforming into a complete sword. It's a mechanism where the lock is released and the folded blade inside comes out. It's compact and can be handled even by commoners who can't use magic. Of course, I guarantee the sharpness of the blade. Saying this, she thrusts the sword into the low table. The blade had indeed pierced through. For everyday use, how about something like this? When you infuse it with magical power, 4 blades automatically rotate to create wind. It's small in size, and the effect depends on the amount of magical power, so it doesn't produce very strong wind with this size. The next magical tool she shows me resembles a handheld fan from my previous life. Indeed, it's only producing a gentle breeze now, but if I were to infuse it with my magical power, It should be able to produce a much stronger wind, almost like wind attribute magic. All of these ideas are interesting, and the quality seems to be fine. Above all, without passion, it would be impossible to create so many magical tools. Well, you must have a reason for giving me this presentation, right? There are 2 reasons why I wanted to show you this. She raises her index finger. 1, a contract should be equal. I wanted you to decide whether to hire me after seeing the magical tools I've made. Then, her middle finger. The second is to show you that if I end up making a prosthetic arm, I can incorporate gimmicks like these. Someone your age probably likes this kind of thing, right? Kyukuku, you understand well, don't you? I used to think about these things a lot when I was little. Now I want to bring those ideas to life and send them out into the world. After putting away the sword, she lowers the box of magical tools to the floor. I'll tell you up front, this is my first time making a prosthetic arm. So it will take money and time, as adjustments will be necessary before completion. I can't make it without your cooperation. Of course, I don't mind spending any amount of money or effort. I just hope you can make it as quickly as possible. You demanding fellow, all right. If you choose me, I promise to present you with the best prosthetic arm. Yuri extends her hand to me. If I grasp this hand, it will signify our mutual agreement, and the production of the prosthetic arm will begin. I looked into her eyes. Those eyes are burning with intensity. The overflowing passion is communicated directly through her eyes, without the need for words. Yuri, may I ask you one thing? Of course, I won't say anything as indelicate as refusing. Then, could you tell me what you consider to be the ultimate magical tool you aim to create? Something powerful enough to slay a magic dragon. I'm surprised by the name that comes out of her mouth. Magic dragons are flying terrors that inhabit only certain regions, reigning at the top of the monster hierarchy. It's said that countless villages have been destroyed by them because magic is the only means of counterattack. You know, my shitty old man once repelled a magic dragon using a magical tool. That's the achievement that made him the representative of this town. For a commoner to drive away a magic dragon without using magic is undoubtedly a great feat. If such magical tools exist, it makes sense why people can live in the city despite the presence of monsters in the surrounding areas. That's why I'm going to surpass that shitty old man. Not just repel, but bring a magic dragon down to the ground. That's what I consider the ultimate magical tool. The flame in her eyes grew even brighter as she spoke. I see. Indeed, entrusting such a task to an unknown youth who doesn't belong to any workshop might seem reckless, but even the greatest masters were once novices with no achievements. The only thing they had was an overflowing passion. And now I sensed in her that same passion that could make her a master. If that's the case, there's only one thing I should do. Thank you for the perfect answer. I'll be counting on you from now on. Looking at her own hand being gripped, Yuri smiled with great delight. Section, Luludan Workshop gets the most requests in Incartan. If you want to hone your skills, this is the only place. But that damn old man won't hire me at all. All right, can you bend your wrist next? Like this. Yeah, that's good. Don't move, okay? I don't want it to shift. Having agreed to the contract, I was immediately having my right arm measured by her. She meticulously measured the length and thickness of my arm resting on the low table, jotting down numbers on paper. But that wasn't all. She wanted every bit of data she could get: the weight of my right arm, the length of my fingers, the position of my joints. She even took magical camera shots from various angles of the shape when I clenched my fist. How powerful was the impact of my magic-infused attacks? I didn't expect her to be interested in my battle style as well. The fact that she was discussing the prosthetic's purpose and the approximate cost of necessary materials while taking measurements showed she had quite a sharp mind. But Yuri, there's one thing I'm curious about. What is it? Where do you plan to work? At least, it doesn't seem like there's a workspace here. Oh, at Luludan Workshop, of course. Wait a minute. I remember your father was angry about not hiring you at Luludan Workshop. Did I mishear? No, you didn't mishear. My damn old man doesn't make sense, right? I'm allowed to use the workshop facilities, but he won't hire me. It's been like that since I became an adult. Allowing her to sharpen her skills, but not work as a craftsman. I agree that it's hard to understand what intention lies behind this. Her father's words and actions are clearly contradictory. That's why I argue with him every day, saying, "Let me work in the workshop." You have that scale of parent-child argument every day. No, being forcibly kicked out like that was a first. Come to think of it, it was the first time he laid hands on me instead of just yelling, "All right, I've got all the measurements I need. You can put your arm back now." Is this all for today? Yeah, I remembered. If you have any requests for gimmicks, I'd like to hear them. I'll consider if they're possible before drawing up the blueprints. Hidden blade, rocket punch, flamethrower. Those are concepts I'm not familiar with. Could you explain them from the beginning? Of course. Also, there's actually something I want to ask if it's possible. What is it? I'll answer anything. This is just hypothetical, but is it possible to return a mechanized body back to its original state? Section. I'm usually at this house, so come anytime if you need anything. Also, I'd like to know where you're staying in case I need to contact you. After that final exchange, I was heading towards the lodging facility that would serve as my base in Encarton with a light step. I might be getting ahead of myself, but I definitely found a gem. She's undoubtedly a diamond in the rough. Besides those 2 items, she showed me other magical tools she had made, all of which were carefully crafted. Especially her magical camera, which had a much higher resolution than those in circulation. There's no doubt she'll become a renowned mechanical engineer in the future. How fortunate to have such a person make my prosthetic arm. I should be grateful to Yuri's father for kicking her out of the workshop today of all days. Anyway, thanks to the early signs of resolving the prosthetic arm issue, I can now focus on the future with Mashiro and the others. Now it's just a matter of waiting for the prosthetic to be completed, with some fine-tuning along the way. I should be able to secure time to spend with each of them individually. The destination I arrived at was quite a luxury-oriented hotel, as expected of something my father had arranged in advance. Phew, all right. I finished checking in at the hotel reception and psyched myself up. The staff offered to guide me to the room, but I politely declined and headed towards the room where the 4 were waiting. Then, I knocked on the door. I haven't been this nervous about knocking since my job interview in my previous life. It's Auga Velet. May I come in? There was no response. Could they have gone out somewhere together? However, I couldn't just keep standing in front of the door. I inserted the key, heard the definite sound of unlocking, and decisively opened the door. What came into view were the 4 of them sitting formally with unusually serious expressions. Sensing this wasn't an atmosphere to make light of, I too quickly sat down facing the 4. This is the only timing to make my request. Before silence could permeate the air, I forced words out of my dry throat. Everyone, Auga, we want you to go on dates with us starting tomorrow. Stage Sub 1, Love Counsel against Auga. Around the time Auga was heading to negotiate with the Luludon workshop, we were being informed of a shocking fact by Alice. Mashiro's face had turned bright red, and even Riene's usual composed expression seemed to be mixed with embarrassment. I could understand how they both felt. I never expected such intimate details to be revealed so candidly either. And by Alice, of all people, who had been completely off our radar until now. As the only one officially engaged to Auga, I take charge of the situation. Alice, let me repeat this one more time, just to confirm. Yes. You were saved from Andraus brainwashing by Auga, and you ended up falling in love with him. Yes. Though her posture was perfectly upright, her face had turned as red as her maid uniform. Surely, the memories of that moment must be swirling around in Alice's head over and over again. I can understand that feeling well. Even now, I still recall the scene when Auga came to save me. When I'm feeling down, or when I want to encourage myself, or in bed. Oh no, this is not the time to be thinking about such things. I need to properly understand the relationship between the 2 of them. And then, you told him you wanted to become his wife, is that right? Unable to control my first-time feelings, I ended up confessing my thoughts. I see. After that, it's as I've told you. At times, Auga-sama carried me in his arms like a princess. At times, he buried his face in the nape of my neck, and last night, he embraced me to comfort my weak heart. Alice, aren't you entering a bit of a bragging mode? Not at all. I didn't want to hide anything from all of you who love the same person, so I spoke without concealing anything. I see, okay. can you wait for us for a little bit? I'll wait as long as it takes for you to understand. Thank you. You two gather round. As I call out to the corner of the room, the other two slink over. They must be wrestling with the same thoughts. Now, I'm sure we all have a lot to say, but let me start with one thing. I never thought that if we confessed to Auga, he would treat us like that. Mashiro nods vigorously in agreement. He's more proactive than usual, isn't he? For Auga-kun to suggest sleeping together, Karen-san and I had to beg desperately just to sleep with him once. Even though I'm his sister, he's never invited me once. I'll have to scold Auga-kun later. But Riane-san, didn't you sneak into Auga's bed for a while? That means such appeals were ineffective. Riane's eyes are clouding over with darkness. She must have been incredibly shocked deep down. But I've been appealing to him so much too. Could it be that Alice-san is Auga-kun's type? No, Auga-kun is very dense, so maybe we need to clearly convey our feelings. That can't be. I mean, he even gave me a ring as a present. Mashiro-san, if we're talking about that, I'm even engaged to him, but I haven't gotten anything more than what Alice-san has. Keep your heart strong, Karen-san. Mashiro pats me on the back to comfort me. She's so kind. Thank you, Mashiro-san. I want to ask this just in case, but have either of you ever told Auga that you like him? At that moment, both of them beautifully averted their eyes. By the way, I didn't tell Auga I liked him when our engagement was decided either. I feel sad just saying it out loud. In summary, it seems Auga becomes proactive towards those who confess to him. We thought we had been showing our feelings through our actions all this time, but that wasn't enough. We need to put it into words like Alice-san did. Alice-san, aren't you too strong? She might be in an invincible state due to her reckless and fierce advancing nature. Just thinking about a confession scenario makes my head fill with embarrassment. But we can't leave things as they are. If we don't take action, Alice-san might surge ahead and reach a happy ending with Auga. Well, it's fine if they reach a happy ending, but we want to cross the finish line together too. You two, let's do it. Do it, you mean confess. If we don't make a move now, Auga will keep getting further away. Isn't that what we want least? Karen-san is right. We need to steal our resolve like Alice-san. Yes. I'll do my best too. Then, we need to make a plan. We should ask Alice-san, who has already successfully confessed, for advice on the right mindset. She'll probably say something like, it's just like swinging a sword. Riane's oddly convincing answer makes us decide to think by ourselves for now. I think the classic way to confess is after a date. I see create happy memories, and then in that atmosphere is that it. I think it's a good idea. For someone like Auga-kun, a straightforward approach might resonate more strongly than trying to be clever. Then, when Auga comes back, let's all invite him at once. That way, there's no sneaking ahead, and we just need to muster up our final courage. The plan is decided. Let's tell Alice-san too, we don't want to leave her out. A date, I'm looking forward to it. How should we decide the order? What method should we use? Drawing lots. After this, including Alice-san, a fierce battle unfolded between the maidens to determine the order of what was essentially their confession turns. Stage 4.4, Accelerating Feelings. A clear blue sky stretches overhead. Stepping out onto the balcony, I feel the pleasant sunlight bathe my entire body, awakening me. The next 4 days will be a crucial turning point in my life. I need to face them with determination from the morning. What nice weather, Auga-kun. Today's outing is going to be so much fun. Good morning, Mashiro. Let's make today an enjoyable day. Yeah, it's a special date, after all. We have to enjoy it to the fullest. Seeing her beaming smile that rivals the brightness of the sun, I feel my own energy rising. I'm convinced that if every household had a Mashiro, there would be no conflicts in the world. I glance at Mashiro smiling softly beside me. Yesterday, I had intended to confess to all 4 girls, but before that, it was decided to fulfill their wishes. The 4 of them probably wanted to go on dates to create memories. As a result, their suggestions overlapped, and my confession ended up not happening, but going on dates now is fine. I'll confess at the end of the date. Surely there won't be any more overlapping timing from now on. Auga-kun, what's wrong? You're staring at me. I was just thinking how cute you are, as always. Come on, let's get ready to go out. Oh, okay. Hee. I take Mashiro's hand and return to the living room. My heart leaps at the thought of the fun date ahead. Have a nice time. Take care, okay? Master Auga, Miss Lake. Please enjoy yourselves. Somehow, the voices of the three seeing us off seemed a bit stiff compared to usual. Section. Mashiro's request was for a shopping date outside. Encarton, being a city where various cultures have taken root, is also excellent as a tourist destination. In the market, you can easily find specialty items from distant lands that would otherwise require a long trip. Wow. It's so lively here. As we arrived at the entrance of the market, we were overwhelmed by the number of people coming and going. It's a level of crowd density rarely seen even in the kingdom of Lindinium. Now, how should we navigate through this? Hey, Auga-kun. Hey, is something wrong? Well, it's a date, so hands. Saying this, Mashiro taps the back of her hand twice. What a cute gesture. And I'm sorry for not being considerate enough. Of course. Trying to maintain my composure, I grasp Mashiro's hand. What smooth skin. It's so smooth that I worry she might slip away in this crowd if I'm not careful. I see. So lovers intertwine their fingers because girls' skin is so smooth, to prevent them from slipping away. Then, should I do the same? Now that we're already holding hands, there's no need to be embarrassed about interlocking our fingers. Steeling myself, I align my palm perfectly with hers. Then, to prevent separation, I intertwine my fingers with Mashiro's slender ones. Mashiro. It's embarrassing to admit, but I don't have much experience going out alone with girls. If there's anything you want me to do, please don't hesitate to tell me. Okay, I understand. After that, we squeezed each other's hands once more as if to confirm, and began exploring the shops lined up in the market. Auga-kun, let's go look at that accessory shop over there. Pulled by Mashiro's hand, we entered an accessory shop filled with small items for women. Even from a man's perspective, there were many designs that I found cute. Earrings, hair clips, bracelets, rings, necklaces. There were many types, but what caught Mashiro's eye was a ring with a small, translucent white gem embedded in it. Wow, this is so cute. You're cuter than that, though. You're cuter than that, though. Huh? Oh no, I accidentally said what I was thinking out loud. My brain must be getting stupid because Mashiro is so cute. Gigi's, don't tease me like that, Auga-kun. I didn't mean to tease. I'm sorry, but I really do think you're cute. Should we buy that? I think it would suit you well. No, it's okay, I have this. Mashiro tightly gripped the special ring with the magic stone I had given her before the Academy magic competition. You treasure it that much, I'm happy too. Me too, when you gave it to me, I was so happy I could have jumped for joy. Mashiro gripped the ring even tighter, as if offering a prayer. Her expression seemed different from just cherishing something precious. Well, shall we go to the next shop? The time I spend with you is important. Yeah, all right. After that, we continued window shopping, entering shops that caught Mashiro's eye. I would be willing to buy her anything she wanted, but she seems content with just browsing. That was fun. We finally reached the edge of the market. Mashiro stretched her back as we left the shop. The sun was already setting, and the moon was about to rise in its place. I didn't expect we would end up not buying anything at all. Auga-kun really is a nobleman, huh? For me, this is pretty normal, you know. Indeed, it seems I've become too accustomed to the sense of money in this world. In my previous life, I used to restrain myself from buying things I wanted, just like Mashiro. Did you have fun, Auga-kun? I made you go along with me quite a bit. Of course, because I was with you, Mashiro. Auga-kun, you say things like that so casually. That's why Alice-san and the others. Did something happen with Alice? No, it's nothing. Yeah, I can't dodge it here. Mashiro spun around and beckoned me with her hand. Auga-kun, could you crouch down a little? That's fine. I got you, Auga-kun. MMPH. Caught off guard, I was spectacularly captured by Mashiro's boob net. I thought it wouldn't be appropriate in front of so many people and tried to escape, but I stopped when I heard her heart beating like it was about to jump out. Because I understood how much courage it took for her to take this action. Hey, Auga-kun, can you hear my heartbeat? It's racing so fast, right? Unable to answer, I patted Mashiro's back once in response. Why do you think that is? I couldn't answer. This time, not because my face was blocked, but because I lacked confidence in the conclusion I had reached. You know, I wouldn't do this with just anyone. There's only one person in the world I want to embrace like this. Mashiro's breath tickles my hair. She was that close, and she spoke the words I was supposed to tell her. I love you, Aoga-kun. I want to create lifelong memories with you. Mashiro's confession blanked out my mind. It wasn't due to lack of oxygen. The happiness she gave me painted over all my thoughts. That's right. Anyway, I need to respond. I must respond. Mashiro, me too. Yes, stop right there. Please tell me the rest after you finish your dates with everyone else. As my mouth was covered by her chest again, I patted her back. Very well, she whispered as she released me, and the first thing I saw was, I love you. Mashiro's smile as she whispered her feelings once more. Section. After Mashiro's confession, I spent the night feeling like I was walking on air. But regardless of my feelings, the next day arrived as usual. Today, everyone else had gone out shopping, leaving only the two of us in the room. Yes, just Riene and I remained at the inn, spending time until night. Which means, today is our at-home date, isn't it? How am I supposed to feel about this? With the excitement I received from Mashiro yesterday still lingering in my stomach, now I'm on a date with a different girl. I had been casually talking about harems, but this is a much steeper path than I thought. At the very least, a man who had been confessed to twice so far by Alice and Mashiro was struggling to switch gears. It would be shameful to confess in this state of confusion. For now, I need to focus on one thing. Today is the day for a date with Riene, so I should concentrate only on her. Right now, I need to pour all my energy into loving Riene. I put my arm around her shoulder as we sat side by side on the sofa. This much is allowed on a D-date, right? I glance at Riene's expression. She was also staring intently at me. Drawn in by her yellow eyes, our faces naturally grew closer. Uga Uga. The mood was instantly ruined. It's been a while since I heard that nickname with zero naming sense. Actually, I quite like it. Is it no good? Would you like it if I called you Ine instead? Yes. I'd be happy if Aoga-kun called me that. I appreciate you saying that, but let's still drop the Uga Uga. It's a nickname that wouldn't make even the most lovey-dovey couple's heart flutter. How strange. According to my research, it's normal for close couples to call each other by such nicknames. I thought it was fine to just act normal. I believed Riene and I were already close without needing nicknames. Was I mistaken? Aoga, you seem unusually eager today, don't you? Indeed, looking back, my actions today were sudden, pulling Riene close, leaning in for an almost kiss. I had been making bold moves unlike ever before. Even now, I hadn't let go of her shoulder, and Riene was resting against mine. Could it be that, after being confessed to by two women, my latent romantic abilities had been unleashed? Is it because Mashiro confessed to you last night? How did you know? I think you're the only one who didn't realize it was obvious, Aoga. Was it really that clear? Yes, very much so. I thought it was charmingly naive of you. Riene giggled, seeing me deflate. Ah, I see. So that's why you're boldly claiming me too. Stop with that malicious interpretation. I'm just joking. When you say it, Riene, it doesn't sound like a joke. Oh my, has it been found out? Hi. Well. Catching me off guard, Riene pulled my arm and we tumbled onto the sofa. Her strength was far greater than her delicate arms suggested, leaving me sprawled on top of her. Actually, I was planning on being claimed by you today, Aoga. Are you serious? I wouldn't joke about something like this. As proof, look, I'm not wearing anything underneath today. She began lifting her clothes. Where there should have been a bra, there was nothing. Even the machinery embedded in her body was exposed. Her smooth skin was revealed, with a slender waist clearly visible. The small dimple at its center was cute too. You're a pervert, aren't you, Aoga? Normally, seeing such machinery would be a turnoff. Riene, could you not press your knee there? But I'm glad you're a pervert, just confirming that was worth it for me. I received a scolding for staring too intently, but there was no contempt in her voice. Rather, it seemed to carry a hint of joy. What do you mean by that? Aoga, you're the king of obliviousness. I thought you'd understand if I said this much. No, I'm equally guilty for not being clear. Riene muttered complaints, with an undisguised expression of dissatisfaction. Meanwhile, as I regained my composure, I realized there was an important matter I needed to tell her. Riene, this isn't really the position to discuss this, but would you listen for a moment? What is it? To put it simply, there might be a way to heal your body. There's no need to heal it. An immediate answer, as if she had long since decided. There was no hesitation or doubt in her eyes. Knowing you, Auga, I figured you'd been asking Encartan's engineers about my body. That's correct. I had been asking Yuri about the possibility of treatment for Riene's body, of course, without mentioning Riene's name. The conclusion was that by gradually replacing the current implants with new magical devices functioning as organs, her body could slowly be restored to its original state. I know that due to Floan's modifications, even the types of clothes she can wear are limited. I'm also aware that she refuses help from our house servants when changing. Above all, those machines might cause her to recall her past with Floan. After all the abnormality she's experienced, I want Riene to enjoy a normal life. However, this is merely my own ego. That's why I wanted to confirm her wishes, but if she says there's no need to heal it, then this conversation ends here. But I want to be of use to you, Auga. For that purpose, I'll use any power available to me, even if it's power given by that person. Riene. Besides, if I can use my power to foil her plans even a little, wouldn't that be quite satisfying? As she said this with a defiant smile, I could no longer sense any curse from Floan lingering over her. You were probably worried that I'd prefer a beautiful body, but that's completely unnecessary now. So we're back to that topic. Yes, because it's very important to me. Saying this, she placed her index finger on her lips, then touched it to mine. I love you, Auga. Riene spoke words of love with a bright red face and a gentle smile. There was no longer any need for her to support her cheeks with her fingers. On the other hand, with her finger pressing against my lips, I couldn't reply again. No, this was probably her way of expressing that a response wasn't necessary right now. Seemingly judging that I had properly understood the meaning, Riene gently removed her index finger. Confessing one's feelings takes more courage than expected. You didn't seem to hesitate much with the kiss, though. Well, that was my second kiss with Auga. When did the first? She never told me about this phantom, first time that I was unaware of. The next day, still not fully recovered from the excitement of my date with Riene. Of course, today is another date. Some might think we lack tension before the battle with Floan, but we're not machines. We're living humans. If we stay tense every day, our minds will break down first. Rather, my mindset is that we should enjoy ourselves when we can. After 2 days in a row, even I realized that they must have discussed and planned these dates, each deciding to confess. To think we were all in a state of mutual, unrequited love. Just as I had decided to convey my feelings before the battle with Floan, they must have wanted to progress our relationships in their own way. Confess to by Mashiro, confess to by Riene Karen will probably confess too. And today's partner was someone who had already confessed her love to me. However, it seems she has some preparations to make, so we're meeting outside. Looking forward to her surprise, I was kicked out of the room and found myself with some free time. I decided to head to the Luludan workshop to check on the progress of my prosthetic arm. After giving Yuri's name at the reception, I was shown to a private room where I waited for her while drinking tea. Sorry to keep you waiting, boy. My high-spirited appointment arrived. Still in her usual tank top, but today she had her work clothes tied around her waist. Yuri flung open the door dramatically and entered, immediately downing her tea in one gulp. Hot. Calm down. When I get absorbed in work, I tend to neglect everything else. That's how focused I've been on making your prosthetic, so forgive me. You could even praise me for it, you know. I'm grateful for that. So, how's the important progress coming along? That's it, that's what I wanted to show you. You came at just the right time. The first prototype is ready, come and see. I never expected a prototype to be completed so quickly. The reason I was kept waiting must have been because she was working until the last minute to show this to me on my sudden visit. She wheeled in a cart from the workshop. Here it is, meeting all the specs you asked for. I call it Dragon Banisher Mark Eye. Wow. What appeared was a sleek, black metal body with a single red line on each side, giving it a weighty presence. The name is terrible, but it looks very cool. I don't know how strong your magic is, boy, so I first made it with the same materials as regular magical tools, without mixing in magic stones. Even so, I've set it to a high level of durability. Encouraged to pick it up, I lift the prosthetic, finding it surprisingly light for its appearance. I'm honestly surprised. I didn't expect to see something so complete today. Hee hee, how about that? Have you gained a new appreciation for me? I never underestimated you in the first place. You say such nice things, boy, so what do you think? Based on what you told me, I made it lighter than your current right arm so it won't slow you down. Your main style is hand-to-hand combat, right? Indeed, this should allow for faster movement. But the lack of weight might reduce the damage dealt when attacking. Considering that concern, I added iron protrusions to the fist part. By reducing the contact area when you punch, the force won't be dispersed. Calculations show it should hit harder than your original punches. As proof, she placed a pitch-black glass plate on the table. What's this? It's a magical tool that can play recorded footage. It's not yet commercialized, so you're lucky to experience it, boy. Just watch the video that plays, okay? Yuri touched the glass plate, and an experimental video began to play. The launched Dragon Banisher mark, I cleanly split an iron plate in two. What surprised me was that despite exerting such tremendous power, the Dragon Banisher itself wasn't scratched at all. This is what happens to an opponent when punched at the speed of a non-magic-infused strike. Satisfied, boy. More than satisfied, I'm thrilled. That's great. When I'm told that money is no object, I can't help but get fired up. Even so, I never expected something this impressive to come out in such a short time. Yuri's skills must be truly remarkable. It makes me wonder all the more why her father doesn't employ her at this workshop. After chatting a lot, Yuri takes another sip of tea. Her expression suddenly changes from cheerful to serious, like when she was taking data in that rundown shack. Let's say the exterior passes, the problem is the interior. Whether it can withstand the boy's magical power or not. This must be the biggest challenge for her. Commoners and nobles. I've heard that adjusting the mechanisms for manipulating magical power is extremely difficult because the difference in whether one can use magic or not appears in their sensibilities. I hold Dragon Banisher MK1 in my left hand and confirm with her. It's okay if I break it, right? This is just a prototype. Of course it's fine if you break it. In fact, I encourage it. If you hold back and it breaks during the real thing, it would all be for nothing. Got it, then without holding back. I start pouring magical power into Dragon Banisher MK1. At first, I feel like the magical power is getting stuck, but gradually, I sense the pent-up power being pushed out. So this is the sensation of creating a new magic circuit that Kabunika-san was talking about. While enjoying this unfamiliar sensation I hadn't been conscious of before, I don't stop the process of flowing magical power. Can I assume it's past the first stage? Yeah, from here on, I'll keep increasing the amount I pour in. There's a possibility the prosthetic arm might burst, so keep your distance from me. Thanks for worrying about a maiden's delicate skin. But don't worry, I need to see the results with my own eyes, so I brought protective gear. While bantering, she puts on work clothes and dons a welding mask that was loaded on the cart, along with the other equipment. Thinking that asking for her help was definitely the right choice, I continue to increase the magical power I inject with each stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just as the count was about to reach 6, Dragon Banisher MK1 split cleanly in half down the middle. Well, I suppose this was to be expected. Boy, how much was that? 50%. Which means we simply need twice the durability. This is going to be tough. Her expression doesn't match her words. She must be having the time of her life right now. This moment when she can showcase her skills without reserve. I could understand that feeling. Thank you, boy. As I thought, it's impossible without a magic stone. With a magic stone, it could withstand it. Probably. It depends on how much we can utilize the properties of the magic stone, but I dare say that's up to my skills. Use as much of the budget as you need. I'm counting on you. About that, are you really sure I can use as much of the budget as I want? The material costs aren't cheap, you know. Can you afford it, boy? Yeah. If you're worried, should I get a written approval from my father? No, that won't be necessary. I trust you, boy. How about adding this option? Saying that, she hands me a booklet summarizing the options used at the Luludon workshop. We could also make the exterior thicker and more mechanical looking. I think it would be more durable. Plus, it looks cool. Rejected. Having just the right arm be huge would look uncool, wouldn't it? You don't get it. That imbalance is what makes it good. Recommend that to customers other than me after you're hired here. Even here, we rarely get customers who let us create so freely. That's why I'm asking. No means no, no matter how much you ask. If you're going to be that stubborn, I guess there's no helping it. Well then, I'll make your prosthetic arm my masterpiece, so look forward to Dragon Banisher MK. 2. She loads the broken Dragon Banisher MK1 onto the cart. Well then, I'm going back to work right away. Boy, I'll have the best prosthetic arm ready, so make sure you come tomorrow too. Still wearing her welding mask, the high-spirited girl leaves the room. After spending time as if caught in a storm, I too leave the room. Section. It was good news that I could confirm the progress of the prosthetic arm, and its quality was better than expected. At this rate, the prosthetic arm will likely be completed sooner than I thought. Feeling relieved about one thing, I switch my focus to concentrate on the upcoming date. When it was decided that I would have dates with the 4 of them, I made sure to plan each date according to their wishes. Shopping together with Mashiro, relaxing at the inn with Riene, and the only one who left it up to me was Alice. She was the only one who told me, "I'm not knowledgeable about this, so if I could leave it to you, Lord Auga." In other words, the evaluation of today's date depends entirely on my actions. Thinking about it that way, I feel a strong urge not to fail. This is unusual. Looking at the clock tower in Incarton, our meeting place, it was about 5 minutes past the promised time. I was starting to worry if something had happened to make such a punctual girl late, when I hear a voice calling my name from afar. I'm terribly sorry, Lord Auga. I'm late. Looking in the direction of the voice, I see Alice in casual clothes, different from her usual maid uniform. She comes up to me, taking big breaths and strings together words of apology. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed to say I'm not used to high heels, and I almost tripped several times. Ew, Lord Auga. Sorry, I just got captivated for a moment. When I think of Alice's image, it's definitely the bright red maid uniform with a black apron. But the girl in front of me is wearing an off-shoulder white knit top and beige long skirt. Her healthy shoulders and collarbone line, which are rarely seen usually, are visible, and that alone is more than satisfying. The clothes fit her perfectly, showing off her well-toned body line even more than usual, and my gaze was completely stolen. Yeah, it really suits you. Is that so? I'm glad Mashiro-san and the others helped me. I see. So that's why I was told to go out. I thought there might be some kind of surprise, but this provided even more than I was hoping for. I'm not used to wearing clothes like this, so it feels strange. I feel like I'm attracting more attention than usual. I agree. Thanks to that, I can feel jealous gazes stabbing into my back too. Don't look, Alice might become my bride. It's proof of how beautiful Alice has become. We should thank Mashiro and the others, and I'm lucky to be able to go on a date with such an Alice. Wanting to get away from the gazes of those unsavory men, I take her hand. Until now, Alice has always interacted with me as a maid, so this is the first time we're touching hands and moving together like this. Glancing at her, I see Alice's face has turned bright red. Oh, Lord Auga, she stammers like a broken magical recorder. Seeing her innocent reaction helps ease my tension as well. I felt strongly that I needed to escort her properly, but now I think it's fine if we, as 2 inexperienced people, can just enjoy ourselves. You haven't had lunch yet, right? I heard there's a relaxing open terrace restaurant a short walk from here. Shall we rest there a bit before we continue? Why yes, I leave it to you. Enjoying her awkwardness, which I've never seen since meeting her, I start walking side by side with Alice. Thanks to making a reservation in advance, we successfully entered our target restaurant. The colorful terrine appetizer has been served, and we're about to start eating, but knife on the right, fork on the left. Was it the other way around? Because she's flustered, Alice is in an amusing state. Originally, she wasn't good with these kinds of manners, but through the thorough education of head maid Morina, she had grown to the point of passing as my maid. However, now all that knowledge seems to have flown out of her head. It would be interesting to keep watching Alice panic, but as she's starting to look teary-eyed, I decide it's time to throw her a lifeline. Alice, look at my hands. If she thinks calmly, she should realize she just needs to do the same as me. Realizing this, her face turns even redder, and she ends up hiding it with both hands. I wish the ground would swallow me up. QQ cuckoo, I'm happy to see a new side of Alice. I'm so sorry. I'm making you worry during our precious time together, Lord Augus. Alice seems to be full of remorse and won't show her face, keeping it covered with her hands. While such mistakes are cute, Alice originally has the mindset of a maid rather than a lover. So her feelings of inadequacy for causing trouble to her master, me, are probably stronger. If this continues, I won't be able to see Alice's face, so I decided to cast a spell to remove her hands from her face. Alice, ah. I cut a small, bite-sized piece of the terrine and bring it to her mouth. Alice's movement stops abruptly, and the gap between her fingers visibly widens a little. If Alice won't eat it, I guess there's no helping it. Ew. H.M., are you going to eat it after all, Alice? After making a reluctant sound, she suddenly starts shaking her head vigorously from side to side. How should I put this? It's interesting, like a delayed puberty has finally arrived. Alice's expression is hidden behind her hands, but I can tell she's shocked from how her shoulders have slumped. While I respect Alice's desire to maintain our usual relationship, if I don't take a step forward here, we'll never achieve the kind of relationship she wants. So this time, I'll support her as she moves forward. Alice, we're on a date right now. You're not here as a maid, but as Alice who sent me that letter, right? Well, that's true, but then you can act however you want. Don't worry about what's appropriate for me or anything like that. Lord Augus, you know what? Why don't we drop the Lord too? I am possible. Lord Auga is Lord Auga. She shakes her head so fast, I almost think it's going to spin right off. I guess I'll let that one slide. I offer her another slice of the terrine. Alice. Why, yes, I'll have some. Alice glares at the terrine on the fork as if it were her mortal enemy, before steeling herself and taking a bite. It's delicious. Ha, I see. Then it was the right choice to come here. Yes, thank you, Lord Auga. Once she overcomes her initial nervousness, she seems much more relaxed and starts eating her own food. Relieved that she's back to her usual self, I resume eating too, but the moment I put the terrine in my mouth, I hear something clatter to the floor. I look over to see that Alice has dropped her fork and knife. Dee, did we just indirectly kiss? Indeed, I only realize it after Alice points it out. But surely she wouldn't be this flustered over an indirect kiss, no? There's no way. With a bad feeling, I quickly check on Alice's condition. Her cheeks, which had been bright red, seem to overflow and gradually turn white. Deathly pale, as if all the blood has drained from her face. Lord Auga, I'm sorry. I can't take any more of this. Alice. On this day, I witnessed her being knocked out for the first time. Section. The day after the incident where Alice fainted from the shock of an indirect kiss. When I explained the situation, all three of them seemed oddly relieved, saying, so even Alice has a weakness. Today, I'm visiting the Luludon workshop with Karen. Just like yesterday, we're shown to a private room to wait for Yuuri's arrival. Somehow, being alone like this, it feels a bit ticklish, doesn't it? Yeah, we used to be together all the time and now. That's true. We've grown up, our positions have changed. Is it because I've become Auga's fiancé? There's no need to confirm it again, but she is indeed my fiancé. And she's the girl who willingly chose this relationship. Thinking back, there was the Academy Magic competition, then the incident with Floan. Before we could catch our breath, we had to rescue Alice, and then there was my appointment as the saint. So many big events happened one after another that I hadn't had the chance to really face her. Of course, my own cowardice played a big part too, but I'm different now. I have both the time and the resolve to face her properly. I wanted to interact with Karen today with honest feelings to make up for all the times I've neglected her before. I'm sorry. Even though this is supposed to be a date, I've brought you here right away. No, it's fine. The planetarium show I want to see with you doesn't start until evening, and I thought it would be good to greet the person in charge here first. As she says this, Karen takes hold of my right hand. Come to think of it, all you told me was that Mr. Dude Luludon's daughter would be in charge. And having learned from past mistakes, I had informed her beforehand that the person in charge was a woman. It's when you hide these things that people start to suspect there's something shameful going on. If you explain things clearly with proper reasons, everyone will understand. They're all kind-hearted girls. A series of coincidences led to her being in charge. Of course, her skills are top-notch, so you can rest easy. If you say so, Auga, then I'm sure it's fine. What kind of person is she? Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm here and energetic as ever, boy. This kind of person. Ah, I see. I thought it would be quicker to see for herself than to explain, and Yuri arrived at the perfect moment. Is she all right? Her energy seems to be increasing day by day. Looking closely, I notice she hasn't even changed her clothes. I hope she hasn't stayed up all night and gotten overexcited. Oh, have you brought your girlfriend, boy? No, she's not my girlfriend. Auga. She's my fiancé. Auga. It's hot enough already without you two showing off such warm scenes. Yuri complains, but this is important. Karen, having regained her spirits, stands up and greets Yuri politely as befits the daughter of a duke's family. I'm Karen Levizenka, his fiancée. Thank you for always taking care of my husband. Congratulations on your marriage in less than a minute. I'm Yuri Luludon. As you can see, I'm the mechanical engineer in charge of making the boy's prosthetic arm. Wait, Yuri, don't just let that slide, you should react more strongly. I'm single, but don't worry, I'm not having an affair with the boy. That's a relief. If there were any more potential brides, I'd be at my wit's end. By the way, how many are there now? Including me, there are 4. Maybe I should start calling you Playboy instead of boy from now on. Please absolutely do not do that. I immediately refuse, imagining being called a Playboy at every turn. So where's Dragon Banisher MK? Aye. Ah, about that, could you come to the workshop today? When it comes to magical tools using magic stones, it's difficult to transport them. Magic stones are precious resources. The value of magical tools made with them skyrockets, and it's said that only a select few can obtain them. I'm having magical tools made with magic stones by throwing around a vast amount of money, but that's only possible because of Yuri's special circumstances. Is it okay for outsiders like us to enter? We might steal your techniques. No need to worry about that. My damn old man will be watching. I see, so if we make any suspicious moves, it's game over. Dude Luludon is the top dog in this town. If he gives permission, no one will complain, and if he says to catch us, we won't be able to escape from the town. However, to think he'd agree to be our watchdog and let us in, even after kicking out his daughter like that. This parent-child quarrel might just be an incredible misunderstanding. Of course, I won't interfere in their relationship. It's never good for outsiders to meddle. They need to face each other properly on their own. From here on, absolutely do not touch anything else. That's the only promise I need from you. If you break it, you two won't be able to get married. I'll guard that promise with my life. Karen's response was quick, having received the most effective threat possible in her current situation. As we step into the workshop, we stick close behind Yuri to avoid any unnecessary suspicions. The workshop is much cleaner than I imagined, and it's easy to breathe. Looking up, I see several large ventilation fans spinning. As expected, a first-class workshop properly maintains its work environment. Here we are, this is my workstation. So this is it, it's really well organized. Of course it is. We don't even allow people who treat their tools roughly to enter this place. A familiar gruff voice responds to my words. People who have accomplished something exude dignity and presence, and I immediately understood that he was one of those people. And the unfriendly guy standing at the entrance is my damn old man. I'm Dude Luludon. As I face him properly, I'm surprised by his massive build, arms as thick as logs, a chest that looks as solid as steel beams, eyes as sharp as a shark's. His appearance might give children nightmares, but there was no doubt that he was Dude Luludon, the top dog of Incarton. It's been a while since then. I apologize for my rude behavior the other day. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I'm Auga Velet. I'm Karen Levizenka. Thank you for having us. Velet Levizenka, I see. No wonder she's allowed to make it freely. It seems Mr. Dude is well aware of who we are. Even if he's not interested in nobility, he seems to be well informed about world affairs. HMPH, don't worry about what happened that day. You don't seem to be some spoiled noble brat who's full of himself because of his status. Mr. Dude looks me up and down and grins. It seems his impression of me isn't bad. So, how's my idiot daughter? She must be difficult to work with, right? While her enthusiasm can be overwhelming at times, I believe entrusting this to her was not a mistake. You've got guts to say that. As expected of someone who's made a name for himself at such a young age. Even in a town that doesn't kowtow to nobility, As its representative, he must be well-versed in the kingdom's affairs. He's clearly aware that the eldest son of the Velet family has earned the title of saint. And that saint has requested to make a prosthetic arm that will become his right hand. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that the fate of the world hangs in the balance. He must understand that I didn't choose Yuri on a whim. Hey, you damn old man. Stop getting all chummy with my client. Remember whose workshop you're using. I could kick you out right now if I wanted to. Do you understand there's less than a month left until the promised date? Of course. If I can't create a magical tool surpassing my father within a year, I'll be banned from the Luludan workshop forever. I'll fulfill that promise today. What? Mr. Dude raised his eyebrows at Yuri's confident declaration. I also had some doubts about her words. Certainly, her skills are impressive. Even yesterday, I didn't expect her to bring such a high-quality prototype. But still, as a finished product, it couldn't meet my requirements. It couldn't withstand the magical power and broke. Could it really become a finished product in just one day? That's why I'm going to surpass my damn father. Not just repel, but sink the dragon to the ground. That's the ultimate magical tool. I remember the words Yuri told me the day we met, her goal, and the promise with her father, the request with unprecedented favorable conditions. Could she be rushing things? If you're so confident, show me. But I don't think you can surpass me as you are now. We'll see how long you can keep saying that. Don't be surprised. That's impossible. You can't meet my passing standards. Yuri's face contorted at the firm rejection. I see. I'm starting to understand what Mr. Dude is thinking, little by little. The atmosphere seems tense. They're in the middle of a heated parent-child argument. Is it really okay to leave it to them? Are we not being used? It's fine. Her father is just being tsundere. It doesn't seem that way to me. While Karen and I were whispering, the argument between Mr. Dude and Yuri continued to heat up. The sound of Yuri stomping on the floor echoed, as if to cut off the conversation. Wipe that snarling look off your face, you damn father. I'll show you the magical tool I've created with all my might. Come to think of it, yesterday she quickly called it a prototype, but today she's consistently calling it a magical tool. Could she really have finished it to completion? As I turned my gaze towards Yuri, she noticed and bowed her head with a serious expression. Boy, I'm sorry for involving you in the quarrel between me and my father. But I've put my all into this. I want you to accept this, the dragon-slaying fist. The fact that it's not named Dragon Banisher Mark II shows how serious she is. However, I could also sense her impatience. As of yesterday, she was still at the stage of creating a prototype. If she suddenly had to present it as a finished product because her father would see it. No, let's stop speculating further. I'll know when I see the prosthetic arm. What Yuri carefully carried was a prosthetic arm with a design significantly different from the previous Dragon Banisher Mark I. First, the color is different. It was black before, but now it's white. Learning from the previous attempt, I used a more durable metal. To compensate for its inferior magical conductivity, I used magic stones. These are the two lines. Shaping the magic stones to fit was challenging, but really fun. Saying this, she traced the red lines drawn on both sides of the metal body with her finger. Looking closely, you can see that grooves have been made on the prosthetic arm, and shaped magic stones are embedded there. The lines from the previous version must have been drawn in anticipation of this. Besides containing magical power, magic stones have the property of storing new magical power once the existing power is used up. Even if the boy's magical power overflows, it should be able to handle it. Learning from the previous failure, Yuri has indeed created a high-level magical tool. She should be able to confidently call this a finished product. Unable to contain her excitement, she leans forward and pushes the dragon-slaying fist towards me. Now, boy, try infusing it with magical power. It should definitely withstand your full power. All right. I take it from Yuri, and like yesterday, I familiarize the magic circuit with the prosthetic arm and start flowing magical power into it gradually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 parts, in other words, it can withstand up to limit exceed gear change, which evenly distributes magical power throughout the body. This is just clearing the first hurdle. Yuri, who is already aware of my techniques, was still observing the progress of the prosthetic arm. Karen, step back a little. Okay. Hearing my warning, Karen took a few steps back, and Yuri put on her welding mask. Now it's time to test limit transcendence gear change, strength, concentrating 10 parts of magical power into 1 point, from 0 to 100. If it can't withstand this magical power load, it won't be practical. This technique is necessary for me, who can't use magic to fight against fluorine. Phew. I exhale long and deep to increase my concentration. It's been a while since that day, the last time I used this. Carefully timing it in my mind to avoid failure. Limit exceed gear change strength. I pour all my magical power into the fist of the prosthetic arm, which has smaller parts to minimize damage if it flies apart. Her countermeasure is correct. The excess magical power that the dragon-slaying fist can't handle is absorbed into the lines, and the magic stones begin to glow. But she still couldn't accurately measure my magical power. The moment the lines of magic stones glowed from end to end, the finger parts, unable to withstand the torrent of magical power, detached from their base and fell to the floor. Ah! Yuri's voice echoed in the silent forge. Unfortunately, the experiment ended in failure. There's still room for improvement in the prosthetic arm. It's praiseworthy that she could achieve such results with just a second improvement. There was no abnormality on my end. I could send magical power with the same sensation as before. Indeed, because of the mixed-in magic stones, I could imagine the movement of magical power more vividly than with the first version. Yeah. Thanks for the feedback. However, as you can see, the durability against magical power is not enough. Please strengthen that for the next version. Yeah, you're right. I give my impressions and hand the broken dragon-slaying fist back to her. Even in her dumbfounded state, she was taking notes to remember the user's voice. A perfect action as a mechanic. However, looking at her now, with the light gone from her eyes, it seemed more like an act of escapism. After all that big talk, this is the result. Yuri's shoulders jumped. Now you understand why we won't hire you here. I'm lending you the forge out of pity, but only until this request is over. I wanted to be like my father. Yuri starts crying, tears falling drop by drop. Her goal was to surpass Mr. Dude. She must have wanted to avoid failing in front of her father. She must have wanted to show how much she had grown. Otherwise, she wouldn't make such a frustrated expression. Yuri, stop aiming to be like me. The denial of her dream from the person she admired. Unable to bear it anymore, Yuri ran out of the workshop. She must have been scared. Because she might have seen disappointment in the eyes of her father, whom she aimed to surpass. It would be inappropriate to chase after her now. This is a problem she must overcome on her own. Auga, are you all right? Yeah, I'm feeling fine. So I can definitely still go on our date later. That's not what I meant. Karen, who had been worried about me, lightly tapped my shoulder. She seemed relieved by my joking response, which showed I was at ease. The heavy atmosphere lightened just a bit. Auga Velit. Yes. If you want, I can prioritize making you a prosthetic arm. You'll need it before the battle, won't you? An unexpected proposal from Dude Luludon, the world's top mechanical engineer. In this situation, anyone would nod without hesitation. I would have done the same. If I hadn't met Yuri, that is. No, I requested this from Yuri Luludon. I want her to make it for me. If you refuse now, there won't be another chance. Are you sure? My answer remains the same. Besides, your daughter will definitely complete it next time. Is that so? Given her state, she might abandon the request herself. You shouldn't say things you don't mean. It's easy to see through. There's no need to stay any longer. Since Yuri isn't here either, there's no point in us remaining. I thanked Mr. Dude and took Karen's hand. A saint. Just as we were about to leave the workshop, a loud voice calling my title rang in my ears. I don't like being called by that name, though. I turned back, waiting for the words that would follow. Make sure to work her hard. Even without you saying so, that's my intention until the day I die. Happy. Understanding the meaning behind my words, Mr. Dude grinned ever so slightly. Section. After the incident at the Luludon workshop, we headed straight to the planetarium theater that Karen had expressed a desire to visit. Apparently, it uses cutting-edge magical technology not even available in the royal capital. Auga, are you really okay with this? Turning down Mr. Dude's offer. Of course. As I said there, Yuri is the one I want to make it. Besides, if I had accepted, I would have been handed a finished product and probably banned from the place. It wouldn't hurt Encartan one bit if their connection to the Velet family was severed. I think Mr. Dude, who adores his daughter, would have taken at least that much action. I wonder if Yuri is all right. She was crying at the end. That depends on her. But if she were to give up here, their parent-child fights wouldn't have lasted for years. I hope you're right. Karen, while having undergone minimal reconciliation, still has some awkwardness with her own father. So, as a daughter herself, she's probably concerned about Yuri. By the way, you mentioned Tsundir earlier, right? What does that mean? It's because Mr. Dude is deliberately acting cold towards Yuri for her sake. Huh? For what purpose? While I can only guess his intentions, there's no doubt he's doing it for her benefit. He should just be honest. If he could do that, he wouldn't beat Tsundir. Ah, I see. Karen nodded in understanding, lightly clapping her hands. Just as our conversation reached a natural pause, the announcement for the start of the show began to play. Let's put the Luludon family talk aside and enjoy the planetarium. Yeah, it's a special time after all. Plus, I get to sit close to Auga like this. We're using one of the 3 limited couple seats in the venue. It's a large circular seat big enough to stretch our legs, with 1 long cushion and 2 square cushions placed on it. Karen and I were looking up at the projected scenery, cuddled close together. Wow, it's beautiful. A night sky full of stars, projected across the entire dome-shaped ceiling. The scenery moves slowly, captivating the audience with its beauty. I too was enjoying the view when suddenly, Karen tightened her grip on my hand, causing me to turn towards her. Hey, Auga, do you remember? The day you gave me this hair ornament. Ah, I gave it to you at your birthday party, didn't I? Yes, the night sky was beautiful like this then too. I thought I'd like to see it again slowly with you. That's why I decided on this place for our date. You've treasured it all this time, haven't you? Of course. This hair ornament, this memory, it was my emotional support. When my father hit me, when the crown prince treated me coldly, you were the one who saved me, Auga. Karen's eyes reflected me, not the night sky. I love you. Since we were little, I've always loved you, Auga. Karen's voice was slightly trembling as she confessed. That's why I'm truly happy to be your fiancé now. But sometimes, I can't help but think, I wish it was just me. Karen buried her face in my chest, as if trying to hide something. Honestly, I want to have you all to myself. But I understand why everyone falls for you, because you're so wonderful. I continue to listen to her words without saying anything. All I can do is gently stroke her hair. Because the emotions Karen is pouring out now would never have existed if I hadn't aimed for a harem. But you know, I also believe that Auga, whom I love so much, will surely make everyone happy. Her words sank deep into my heart. What a fool I am. To make her say such things when she loves me, back then, before our date, I should have been the one to speak up first. I should have told everyone, even if I had to force it out. Please share your life with me. The 4 of them confessed to me despite their anxieties, yet I was running away from expressing my feelings until I was certain. Karen, thank you. I embrace her tightly, the one who gave me that final push. I have something I want to tell everyone tonight. Can you wait until then? I don't ask what, as that would be tactless. She, who has nurtured her love for me for over a decade, rubs her reddened eyes and smiles shyly. I've been waiting for years, you know. A few hours is nothing. Thank you. Once again, I express my gratitude for Karen's kindness. Section, the planetarium was beautiful, wasn't it? Though I feel like we spent the latter half just looking at each other's faces. That's, well, I can't deny it. Karen scratches her cheek, looking embarrassed. After receiving that passionate confession, we remained silent, gazing at each other, then averting our eyes out of shyness, or laughing at how flustered the other looked. Those casual moments were so precious that I couldn't help but keep staring. Okay, that's enough of that talk. Auga, does your hand hurt? Are you all right? The pain isn't from the arm itself, but from the magic circuit in the arm. It's not a problem. She's holding my right hand. My right arm will soon be replaced with a prosthetic, so she wants to create memories with my right hand before that happens. It's a thoughtful idea, typical of the kind-hearted Karen. I wonder if it hurts when they cut it off. I don't want to imagine it. Apparently, they numb the sensation and then use magic to cut it off in one go. They make sure you don't feel any pain with magic, it seems. I see, of course. It wouldn't be possible without magic, right? I'd probably pass out from the pain otherwise. I can say that with confidence. The level of damage is different from having your skin torn or bones broken. Even the physical enhancement from limit transcendence gear change would be meaningless, and it's definitely something I'd want to avoid in a fight with Florn. What should we do about dinner later? Eat out. I'm fine either way. The hotel is the only option. You knew that when you asked, didn't you? Was I that obvious? We'll meet at the hotel, and I'll give my answer to everyone's confessions. After that, I'll propose marriage anew. I can't imagine a life without any of them anymore. I'll defeat Florn, and we'll continue walking towards a bright future together in a peaceful world. At that moment, beep, beep, monster attack, monster attack. Please evacuate to the underground shelter immediately. Beep, beep, dragon appearance, please evacuate to the underground shelter immediately. As if mocking my resolve, several high-pitched warning sirens echoed throughout the city. Stage Sub 2, Prelude. A beautiful night with a full moon floating in the sky. I sat in a dark room without turning on the lights, feeling anxious about my situation. 6 months had passed since I made a 1-year promise with my damn father to create a magical tool surpassing him for the sake of my goal. But I saw no progress. Even when I drew blueprints, the resulting magical tools were barely different from my father's past relics. I'd make something, be dissatisfied and reject it, make something and reject it, make something and reject it, make something and reject it. Ah, damn it. Unable to contain my frustration, I slammed my cup on the table. The target of my anger was myself. Why did I even think about that for a moment? Today, for the first time in my life, I felt disgusted with making magical tools. I couldn't help but feel ashamed of myself. Since childhood, I've been pouring time into creating magical tools, aiming to be like my father, an incredibly skilled mechanical engineer. Hobbies, love, all those experiences other kids probably had, I never touched any of it, focusing solely on magical tools. All for the dream of surpassing my father and working at the Luludon workshop. That feeling undoubtedly still resides in my heart. And yet, why is it that the more I grow up, the further my dream seems to drift away? Childhood was better. I could just relentlessly charge towards my dream. Now it's different. I need money for food, clothes, and a place to live, and creating magical tools costs money. Material costs, tool maintenance fees, and so on. The reason I always wear the same clothes is that I have no money, and I don't buy drinks other than water because I have no money. If you work at another workshop, you'll get paid and can still create magical tools. Why not hone your skills there? I hated how such sweet thoughts and reality were slowly creeping in. More than anything, I was angry at myself for almost giving in to such reality. Was this the extent of my passion for my dream, my goal? I felt miserable. Sigh. No matter how much time passes, my damn father still won't acknowledge me, and the promised deadline is approaching. I don't intend to stop creating magical tools. I don't want to give up on working at the Luludon workshop under my father. But the reality is that I'm stagnating. I only argue with my damn father. When was the last time we had a proper conversation? My heart wears down from the lack of progress in my daily life, and only weak thoughts come to mind. I should just go to sleep now. Staying up any longer would be a waste of time. I'd just end up brooding and feeling more depressed. Ah, I wish someone would appear with a generous budget, letting me create whatever I want. Well, that's impossible, such a fairy tale. Even though I'm Dude Luludon's daughter, I'm a mechanical engineer who doesn't belong anywhere and doesn't sell any works. Where would I even get such a request? Ah, well. No good, I should just sleep now. I don't even have the energy to lay out my futon. I fold my sitting cushion in half to use as a pillow and lie down on the hard floor. At this moment, I still didn't know that such a fairy tale would become reality, changing my life forever. Section: Audiobook by Masquerade at Masquerade Audiobooks. Stage 4.5, My Resolution. Currently, all the magical devices installed on the walls surrounding Encartan were created by Dude Luludon. Their performance has been proven by past achievements, having successfully prevented numerous attacks by external monsters. In fact, there had been no damage caused by monsters in the past decade or so. That's why complacency began to set in. Monster reaction detected in the northwest direction. Squad 10 has been dispatched. Squad 10, Roger. But it's probably just goblins unable to resist their hunger as usual. Those assigned to defense made a mistake in their initial response. By the time they leisurely set up the magical artillery, the threat was already approaching from the sky. Where are the monsters? The head of a squad member who was swiveling the magical artillery flies through the air. A dragon's claw had pierced their head, tearing it off along with the neck. Gah! Jet black wings flapping in the night sky. At their tips are claws too sharp to merely slice through human bodies. A massive tail that can crush anything. Bulging eyes that capture prey glow crimson red. The destruction end breath, released from a mouth large enough to swallow, a person whole has burned down countless towns and villages. Every time it manifests on the ground, it causes extraordinary damage. That was the monster called the Magic Dragon. Magic Dragon. Quickly report this. The Magic Dragon has Koa. For that beast, it doesn't even take a minute to hunt down a mere handful of lives. This became the last communication record of Squad 10, serving as the report of the Magic Dragon's attack. Section: A Magic Dragon. Don't mess with me, I don't want to die yet. Me neither. Get out of my way. Everyone, please calm down. Follow the guidance to the underground shelter. There's plenty of room in the underground shelter. So please, don't push, don't panic, just proceed calmly. The moment the alarm sounded, people began fleeing in a rush while the town's security guards tried to guide the evacuation. However, the guards' voices weren't reaching the panicked masses, and Encartan had fallen into chaos. Karen, this way, follow me. Okay. I grabbed Karen's hand and dashed towards the hotel where Mashiro and the others were staying. If the Magic Dragon appeared in the town, someone would have to repel it. As luck would have it, we had members gathered who might be capable of doing so. It would have been fine to choose to evacuate to the underground shelter. In any case, confirming everyone's safety was the top priority. I never thought we'd end up fighting such a monster before flown. What terrible timing, just when I was about to propose. For the sake of my prosthetic arm too, we can't let Encartan be destroyed. Augakun. Mashiro, Renee and Alice, you're safe too. It seems they had made the same choice. We successfully rendezvoused at a point between the planetarium theater and the accommodation facility. All three of them seemed ready for battle, dressed in clothes that were easy to move in and covered their skin. So, what should we do, Augakun? I hate to say this, but fighting is non-negotiable. That was our intention from the start. This is what we've been training for at the estate. Yeah, it's time to test our results. Mashiro, Karen, it might be a tough first battle for the two of them, but they seem plenty motivated. Lord Auga, before we engage the Magic Dragon in battle, let's head to Mr. Dude first. Our opponent is that Magic Dragon. I humbly suggest we should coordinate and increase our chances of victory even slightly. Understood. I can't use my right arm in this situation either. Cooperating to face this threat together is probably the best strategy. With our course of action decided, we headed towards the Luludon workshop, where Mr. Dude was likely to be, using back alleys to avoid the Magic Dragon's line of sight. Section: The Luludon workshop is not only a holy ground for craftsmen who create magical tools, but also serves as the town's defense base. The top floor is the command center, using anti-magic detection radar to relay monster positions to the defense squads stationed in the fortress. This place, usually operated by a limited number of people, was now crowded with people desperately trying to respond to the changing situation. Can we track the Magic Dragon's position? Yes. It's currently circling above the southern district. According to nearby defense squads, it's engaged in destructive activities using destruction and breath. Understood, tell all defense squads. When the Magic Dragon approaches, cease attacks. Hold your breath and wait for it to pass. Roger that. The Magic Dragon had already crossed the fortress and entered Encartan. Encartan's anti-monster magical devices are placed on the fortress. If we could lure it towards the fortress, we might buy some time and ensure safer evacuation for residents. But if we provoke the Magic Dragon and it destroys the fortress, we'll lose our means to deal with outside monsters. We have magical tools against the Magic Dragon, but it's been proven in the past that those can't defeat it. For now, all we can do is strengthen our defenses and prioritize the evacuation of residents. Mr. Luludon. Report from the defense squad. Simultaneous monster attacks have occurred outside the fortress. We can't spare forces to guide the evacuees. They're probably in a temporary state of excitement, caused by the magic dragon. Damn it! That magic dragon. I slam my fist on the desk. Sky and earth. Who would have thought we'd be attacked from both directions? If we focus on the magic dragon, the fortress will be left defenseless, resulting in inviting the outside monsters in. On the other hand, if we ignore the magic dragon, Encartan will be immediately exposed to its violent force, preventing resident evacuation and causing many casualties. Dividing our forces is the most dangerous option. Monsters are not opponents that can be defeated with half-hearted measures. We're now faced with the ultimate dilemma. Mr. Luludon. What is it now? We have an offer to help with defeating the magic dragon. What? Is there such an eccentric person? We're talking about that magic dragon. It seems like nothing more than a death wish. However, what's the name of this collaborator? They identify themselves as Augavelit. The moment my subordinate shouted that name, the command center immediately buzzed with excitement. Hey, who's Augavelit? Can we trust this guy? I don't know, but right now, we could use any help we can get. W8, I saw it in the newspaper recently. There was an article about a young person being given the title of saint. Mr. Luludon, this is an incredibly powerful ally. A ray of hope suddenly appeared amidst all the dark topics. The name of the rising star who suddenly appeared in the kingdom of Rondism had reached even Encartan, which dislikes nobles. A nobleman loved even by commoners. Moreover, because he himself can't use conventional magic, he's viewed favorably in this town. However, that man shouldn't be able to use his right arm. I don't think Yuri could have completed the prosthetic arm yet. Is he saying he'll fight the magic dragon in that condition? But Encartan isn't in a position to refuse help. If a warrior says he'll stand on the battlefield himself, we'll make full use of his cooperation. Let him through. Time is of the essence. Understood, Lord Velit, please come in. 5 people stepped into the command center. The man at the lead looked us over and flashed a defiant smile. Thank you for accepting us. Given the situation, let's skip the pleasantries. Thank you for volunteering, I'm grateful. Who are those behind you? My fighting force. These 5 will head out to defeat the magic dragon. Murmurs spread at the boy's statement. It was a declaration that made everyone question his sanity. Are you serious? The magic dragon is an opponent that the kingdom of Rondism's Holy Knight Order can barely match even when fully deployed. Of course I know that, but for me, there's no future unless we defeat that beast. Saying this, Augavelit tapped his right arm. And if that thing does as it pleases, Encartan will have no future either. That's why we should join hands and protect this town. This man needs Encartan's technology to make his prosthetic arm. If the town is destroyed, it's over at that point. So he chose to take the offensive. That attitude, unbefitting of a nobleman, I don't dislike it. What should we do? Tell me the magic dragon's current position. And though it may already be in motion, I'd like you to protect Yuri. She might be our trump card. Understood, and I have one proposal from our side as well. Let's hear it. I have a magical tool I made specifically for the magic dragon in the past. I want to launch it, so please attack simultaneously. We might be able to wound it. The timing. I'll let you know through this communication device. Ask the operator about the magic dragon's position from now on. Hey, as expected of Encartan. You have a magical tool for everything. Saying this, Augavelit puts the communication device I handed him to his ear. With this, our counterattack preparations are complete. Now then, let's send this rowdy magic dragon back to its nest. Section. Having secured cooperation from Encartan's side, I was standing on the roof of a house that provided a full view of the magic dragon, following their guidance. Mashiro and Alice were beside me, while Karen and Riane were set to participate in the attack from a different location. This is the command center. The magical tool we discussed, the Dragon Crusher, is ready to launch. Like father, like child, huh? Did you say something? No, it's nothing. We're ready on this end too. No problems here. Understood. We'll momentarily restrain the magic dragon's movements with a simultaneous attack from the fortress. Launch your attack at that moment. Roger that. After finishing my reply, I gaze at the magic dragon a little ahead of us. It's big enough to be clearly visible even from here. Even if 10 of me lined up, we might not match its full length. No wonder a village or two could be easily destroyed if such a monster rampaged freely. Augakun, I can really blast it, right? This is the only way for humans to fly. Imagine me jumping over the magic dragon. Alice, I'm counting on you as the launching pad. Yes, I'm already prepared. The sword she held was tightly tied at the guard, with a string to prevent it from being drawn from its sheath. Sorry for using your precious sword like this, Alice. No, I am Augasama's sword. If I can be of use to Augasama, I can only rejoice, never refuse. Heth, I'm truly glad you're here. Mashiro, after I fly, distract its attention. I'm counting on you. Leave it to me. I'll hit it with something so big you won't even need to take the stage. She confidently declares this, now able to use more types of magic than before. Really, what reliable companions. As Mashiro concentrates for her incantation, I was also preparing myself to dive into the dragon's reach. It's begun. Iron balls fired from the magic cannons, mounted on the fortress, simultaneously, assault the magic dragon's body. We can't expect much damage, but if we can distract it even a little, that's enough. Dragon Crusher missile, launching in 5 seconds. Alice, good luck. As Alice swings her sword high, I jump to ride on its blade. Feeling my weight, she makes a full swing. Mashiro. Wind booster. And as I'm thrown into the air, I receive a blast from Mashiro's wind attribute magic, accelerating all at once. The distance to the magic dragon shrinks rapidly, but my speed hasn't dropped yet. Limit Transcendence gear change. I strengthen my body by circulating magic power throughout. Since using gear change strong would be a repeat of last time, this is the maximum output I can manage now. The cylindrical object flying from the opposite direction, that must be the magical tool, Dragon Crusher missile, that Dude Luludon used to repel the magic dragon. If that's a magical missile, then I'm a human missile. If we attack to crush your body from both sides, what will happen to your body? Well, let's test it out. Arrows of water and lightning spread out above the magic dragon. The contrast of blue and yellow covers the sky. Thunder arrow, aqua arrow. And so, the disturbance by Riene and Mashiro's magic began. Gruwuwu. The magic dragon doesn't avoid them, but takes a stance to intercept. Its attack method isn't limited to the big technique, destruction and breath. Its mouth glows red, and then scorching flames are shot out, swallowing up the two's magic arrows. However, the second and third arrows were already prepared. If 24 isn't enough, next is double, thunder arrow. This time I'll hit you, aqua arrow. While before it was just in the sky, this time 96 magic arrows appear surrounding the area around the magic dragon. Galilea. The magic dragon spins once in place, trying to repel them with flame breath again. The result is a repeat of earlier, but we succeeded in keeping it in this place. Moreover, its attention is drawn to the two's magic arrows appearing in the sky again. That's far too careless, Mr. Magic Dragon. Using D-Magic Burial, I take utmost care not to receive damage from the magic aftereffects. The scales that look hard from afar finally approach before my eyes. This guy, there's a part where the color has changed as if burned by something. A clearly visible scar. Did something happen before it came here? But this is a good opportunity. I'll hit you without hesitation. Dragon Hammer. I pull back my left arm greatly and strike at the same time the Dragon Slayer missile hits. An explosion that could rupture eardrums. I'm thrown into the air by the shockwave when the Dragon Slayer missile hits, but this was expected. Rather, it feels good. Graya. I can clearly see our attacks affecting the magic dragon. The strong impacts from both directions collide inside its body, creating an even stronger shock. Green blood overflows from its abdomen, raining down on the town. Thunder Sword Dance. If we inflict wounds, the damage from magic increases too. Riene's lightning attribute magic hits directly, slowing the magic dragon's movements. O Spirit of Water, O Spirit of Wind, take my magic power as nourishment and grant me strength. Mashiro's chant, filled with magic power, rises to the sky, causing an ominous vortex to form above. The sound of air freezing with crackling noises grows louder and louder. Pierce the earth, bring forth the terror of the sleeping age, Frost Hurricane. A storm of cold air that freezes everything it touches is released from the sky towards the magic dragon. There's a limit to what scales can protect. Starting from the exposed wounds, it freezes over, and the flowing blood forms the trunk of an ice tree rooting into the ground. Even if the magic dragon tries to escape, it needs to remove the ice that has already crept inside, and every movement brings pain, slowing its actions. All right, it's working. If this continues, we can do it. Alice. Yes. I clearly heard Aogasama's voice calling for me. As I fall with the power of Mashiro's magic wearing off, Alice jumps up using the ice tree as a foothold, intersecting with me. The seal that kept her sword in its sheath has been undone, and she takes a stance for Aijutsu. Now it's my turn to deliver her to the magic dragon. Go get him. The moment I feel her weight on my outstretched arm, I swing up with all my might. Alice's deep breath as she faces the magic dragon head-on is audible even to me. Control over one's breath is not your exclusive privilege. Let me show you the sharp strike unleashed from a state of complete relaxation and focus. By the time a sharp metallic sound rang out, Alice had already finished her draw. Flash blade. The magic dragon clutches its slashed right eye and thrashes about in place. Its cries gradually grow quieter as pain assaults it from all over its body, until finally they can no longer be heard. We did it. We defeated the magic dragon. Cheers of joy rise from all around from the defense squad of Incarton, who had a history with the magic dragon. Auga. Karen, who has joined us, can't hide her joy either as she comes running to embrace me. We did it. We defeated that magic dragon. I'm sorry, Karen. Could you stay away for a bit longer? Hi. This might just be my imagination, but I can't believe that magic dragon would be defeated so easily. She seems convinced we've defeated it, but I'm still watching the magic dragon intently. Alice and Riene seem to be of the same mind, not letting go of their weapons. Mashiro, go behind us with Karen. Okay. Seeing that we battle-hardened fighters haven't let our guard down, the two maintain their tension and move as instructed. Alice, do you have experience in slaying magic dragons? I apologize. I have never participated in such, however, from what I've heard, the threat was not of this level. I agree. Indeed, everyone here is quite capable, but even so, this seems too. You two think so too. Hearing their opinions, I make a decision. 10 minutes. If the magic dragon doesn't move for 10 minutes, we'll consider it dead. Until then, we must not let our guard down. It can't be helped. That voice just now. A low voice resonating with authority echoes in my mind. I'm not the only one who heard it. The defense squad, who were filled with joy moments ago, now look at each other with puzzled expressions. Sensing something ominous, I turn my gaze back to the magic dragon. Tail, legs, torso, neck, head. As my eyes move, they meet the dragon's crimson eyes, sending a chill down my spine. In the moment I blink, overwhelmed, the magic dragon that should have been trapped in the ice tree vanishes. What? Where did it? Before I can finish speaking, I sense a violent presence and immediately move my feet in that direction. Alice, who noticed almost simultaneously, moves in the same direction. Karen. Miss Levizenka. Hi. As Alice raises her sword to protect the bewildered Karen, a shrill metallic sound cuts through the air. Sharp claws growing from the hand of a tall man were about to claim Karen's life. Ew. Aalisan is being overpowered. Even Riene can't hide her shock at this unprecedented sight. At this rate, Karen will be cut along with Alice. Get away from Karen. Catching up a beat late, I drive a front kick into the exposed flank. But what I feel in return is not resistance, but a numbness that shakes my own foot. It's not muscle, but something harder than even metal. Bulging, blood-red pupils turn towards me. Was it you who opened a hole in my belly? Those words just now, I had a vague feeling, but it really is. You're that magic dragon, aren't you? It seems I am indeed who you think I am. I'm not sure how it works, but apparently the magic dragon we thought we had defeated has transformed into a human form and appeared before us. You should die. Gah. Its target shifts to me, and with blinding speed, its claws pierce my abdomen. The impact violently shakes my internal organs, powerful enough to momentarily stop my breathing. Ah, that was close. It's a good thing I focused limit transcendence gear change strength only on my stomach. I didn't want to use it, but if I hadn't activated limit transcendence gear change strength, My torso would have been torn in two by now. I almost want to praise myself for managing to stay conscious. Oh, you managed to defend against that. Well then. Hey now, is it okay to focus only on me? You shouldn't forget about us. It's troublesome. Ice Frost Hurricane. A simultaneous attack by the three. Taking advantage of the moment when the magic dragon's attention was slightly diverted, I also launch a counterattack. This should definitely land a hit. However, the scene before our eyes filled us with despair. What? Mashiro's magic hit directly, Riene's kick connected with its head, and Alice's sword was swung down. But none of them inflicted even a single wound on the magic dragon. You seem to be mistaken, but I was aware and simply ignoring you. I can kill you anytime. Saying that, the magic dragon casually raised its hand and... Everyone, retreat immediately. Magic burial. What a peculiar technique. Sensing an enormous amount of magical power in its palm, I realized I couldn't let it fire. I touched it directly to cancel it out with magic burial. This thing. It's become incomparably stronger than before. Let me teach you something as a parting gift for the afterlife. Among magic dragons, there are those like me who can transform into a human dragon form. As the volume is compressed, the power is also concentrated, increasing many times over. Thanks for the kind explanation. You're welcome, you're about to die anyway. It's the duty of the strong to bestow knowledge upon the weak. My right arm is grabbed. The wrist, gripped with tremendous force, is easily crushed. You're first. The tail that has grown on it is raised high. The next moment, I hear something tear as a mass easily capable of taking my life strikes from the right, and I'm sent flying far away. Section. I've always looked up to my old man's back as I grew up. I thought it was amazing how the things he made brought smiles to everyone's faces. I thought it was cool. That's why I decided to become the world's greatest mechanical engineer, just like my old man. From a young age, I'd go into the workshop, imitating my old man, and even get praised by the craftsmen around. I thought I'd join the Lurudon workshop and eventually take over my old man's position. Yuri, you should work at a different workshop. That is, until my old man said this to me on the day I became an adult. I think my encounter with that boy was one of the worst kinds. He saw us, father and child, hurling insults at each other, and even saw me being kicked out. If he hadn't offered me work, I probably would have sealed away the memory of meeting him as a dark history. But the boy I met turned out to be the best person for me. Would anyone entrust the creation of their prosthetic arm to someone who hasn't left any mark on this world yet? For a mechanical engineer, an arm is more precious than life itself. It's absolutely impossible. Yet, after seeing my magical tools and hearing about my dream, he decided on the spot. Every day after I became an adult and left home was the same routine. Training at the forge, arguing with my old man, training, arguing, creating magical tools all alone, without any requests. Just making magical tools without any users. I thought such days might continue forever, when it happened. I thought he was the person of destiny who would set in motion the time that had been stagnant for so long. These 5 days were the most enjoyable time I've ever had creating magical tools in my life. But that's over now. Even though I was in top form, I showed such a pathetic magical tool in front of my damn old man, back to square one again. As I was huddled in my shabby hut thinking about such things, I found myself running towards the workshop. It was purely by chance, as I saw the boy challenging the magic dragon on my way from the shabby hut to the underground shelter. From what I heard, his right arm is broken. The magic dragon isn't an easy opponent that can be defeated with just one arm. I know that because I've been aiming to defeat it for years. I understand all too well. At this rate, the boy will certainly die. The boy who believed in me, who could only talk about my dreams in this town, will be gone. Thinking that, my body moved on its own. Ah, there's Yuri-san. Miss, where have you been, and what have you been? Out of my way. Kicking aside everything in my way, I reached the forge and entered the workshop without even catching my breath. Huff, huff. How selfish I am. The boy never ran away, even in such a desperate situation. Yet I ran away after just one failure seen by my damn old man. To be honest, I'm not confident I can make a magical tool better than the dragon-slaying fist. That's how confident I was in it. So I got carried away thinking I could get back at my damn old man, and then I was disappointed in myself. Ah, shut up already. Throw away all unnecessary thoughts. Focus only on your passion. Who do I want to create for? Wasn't it him who rekindled the dying flame of my life? Finally warming up, my heart is. I put on the work clothes I had tied around my waist and donned my goggles. What I envision is the failed dragon-slaying fist. Instead of discarding it as a mere failure, make it one of the options. Without a doubt, that was the best work of my life so far. The boy praised it too, and there was no malfunction in its function. Then, instead of creating something new, improve the dragon-slaying fist. I take out the memo I had stored in my work clothes. What he wanted was an increase in magical power durability. If there's nothing with higher magical power durability than the metal I'm using now, the only option is to increase the amount of magic stones. Phew! Processing magic stones requires considerable technical skill and nerve-wracking concentration. Because if you fail in handling magic stones, the magical power contained in them will flow into your body, destroying your magic circuit and turning your body into a corpse. That's why only mechanical engineers from Incarton can create magical tools using magic stones. Our predecessors sacrificed themselves to survive and passed down the methods of processing magic stones to future generations. Even 2 lines were tough, but now I'm about to challenge processing an even greater amount of magic stones. 3 lines? No, the boy I'm dedicating my masterpiece to isn't someone who would be satisfied with just that. 4 lines, double it to 4. Wait for me, boy. I'll finish this in less time than it took for the dragon-slaying fist. I'll create the best right arm and definitely deliver it to you. I placed the chisel on the magic stone I had taken out and swung down the hammer. Strike, 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 strike with all my soul. I'm pouring my life into this magical tool, an immersion I've never felt before. My body moves on its own as if I can see the path to completion. One by one, the completed magic stones pile up. The main body that can't allow even a hair's breadth of error to fully unleash his power. A concentration that drives my body to the point where I can't even hear the metallic sounds during work. Depiwa. It seems I had unknowingly been holding my breath, and I take a big gulp of air. My lungs hurt. My arms are heavy. My body is tired. The pain in my joints comes as if to make me pay for pushing myself too hard. But right now, all of it feels good. That's right. How long has it been since I put this much passion into swinging my arms for someone? That's why I can say with certainty, this thing before me is my greatest masterpiece, something I think I'll never be able to create again in my life. It's heavy, but I'm glad I've been training regularly. I should be able to run. There's no time to rest. I have the important task of delivering this to the boy. I shoulder the bag containing the prosthetic arm and head out of the workshop. The sound is coming from over there. The sound of metal clashing violently against metal multiple times, and buildings collapsing. I know I'm heading into a dangerous area, but if I were to stop here, I wouldn't have made the boy's prosthetic arm in the first place. The boy is fighting too, so I'll fight as well. The sound grows louder and the view opens up as I get closer. There's no trace left of the famous tourist spot. It has turned into a battlefield. This voice, it's the boy's fiancé. Overjoyed at reaching the boy, I run towards the source of the voice. And the first thing that comes into view is the fiancé with a pale face using magic and, Auga, wait for me. I'll stop the bleeding with healing magic, right away. The sight of the boy who has lost his right arm. Boy. Section Oidenen. I can hear someone's voice. Damn it, no good. My vision is blurred, I can't see clearly. That's not all. Somehow, my head isn't working right, it's painful, I can't breathe properly. Right away heal. Oh, as I'm enveloped in a green light, I gradually start to become aware. Boy, wake up, boy. It's all right, Auga. The recovery heal is starting to take effect. Karen, and even Yuri, why are you here? As my blurred consciousness recovers, pain that I hadn't felt before courses through my entire body. But thanks to Karen's recovery heal, it subsides in an instant. That damn magic dragon, I'll make it pay. As soon as the recovery heal is done, I want nothing more than to return to the battlefield and punch that detestable face. I try to check the extent of my injuries, looking at my right arm where the pain was strongest, but there's nothing below the elbow. Boy. Auga, please listen calmly. You protected us and took the magic dragon's attack, so. It's fine, I remember. I took the dragon's tail counterattack, and my right arm that it had grabbed couldn't withstand it and was torn off. Right. Karen bites her lip and nods in response to my question. Yuri shakes her head in disbelief. That's right. That's why I came to cast Recovery Heal on you. Then why is Yuri here? I came to deliver this. Saying that, Yuri takes out the dragon-slaying fist. From the bag on her back, no, it's an improved version. The number of magic stone lines embedded in the metal body has increased to 2 on each side. And while the shape was previously as close to a human arm as possible, this time the armor is thicker, about 1.5 times the width of a conventional arm. True dragon-slaying fist, that's the name of this prosthetic arm. Did you make the arm thicker to knock down the magic dragon? Since the magic dragon is still alive after taking hits from Dad's magical tool and your punch, it means we need more power. So I increased the horsepower. Also, I didn't have time to include all the gimmicks you requested this time. Sorry. Don't worry about it, we'll save that for next time. I'm rather impressed she managed to complete it to this extent. I didn't have enough power to defeat that thing. The limit transcendence gear change strong was effective against it. If I could have used limit transcendence gear change strong for attacks too, I might have been able to deal some damage. So you risked danger to deliver this. How could I do nothing when you're fighting so bravely? QQ cuckoo, it seems I was lucky after all. Now I can see a way to defeat the magic dragon. I slowly stood up, trying to maintain my balance. While we're talking, Alice and the others are buying us time. I wasn't blown as far away as I thought. I can return immediately from this distance. Thank you, Yuri. You've done your part admirably. Now it's my turn to respond. Boy. Yuri hesitates for a moment, then grips my left hand. Boy, I'm sorry to ask this right after you've woken up, but I have a request. What is it? Tell me. I want you to fight wearing this. Wait a minute, that's... Karen. I call her name and gently pat her head. I understand why she's trying to stop me. She's seen Yuri's prosthetic arm fail once before. If I return to the battlefield in an incomplete state again, I'll surely be killed this time. But I'll be killed even if I do nothing. There's only one choice prepared for me from the start. That thing conveniently cut off my right arm. It's perfect for me. Auga. Besides, this is your masterpiece this time, right? Yeah, I want you to trust me. Her eyes burn with the same passion as when she talked about her dreams. I see. You've been fighting alongside us too, haven't you? All right, I'm counting on you. Yeah, leave it to me. Yuri nods vigorously and begins preparing to connect the prosthetic arm to my right arm. Once I attach the prosthetic to match the wound, channel your magic power into it just like during the experiment. Then your body will recognize it as a part of you. Saying this, Yuri shows me 5 pointed rods attached to the connection part. By inserting these into the arm, it will be easier to channel magic power. After channeling magic power, using Recovery Heal will make it stick, right? That's right, but there's one thing to note. We can't use anesthesia in this environment, so there will be intense pain during the attachment. If we use Recovery Heal before you channel magic into the prosthetic, the connection won't work properly. So, I need you to endure the pain for a little while. Yuri continues apologetically, saying we need to press it on firmly. She probably researched the attachment process herself, anticipating that I'd want to do it when I asked her to develop the prosthetic arm. In this emergency situation, that's proving very helpful. Auga, it's okay, I'll hold your hand the whole time. Thank you, this gives me 1,000 times more courage. I'm not exaggerating at all. The warmth from her hand gives my spirit peace and courage. It's only natural as a man to want to show my cool side to her who cares for me. Boy, from me too, thank you. For believing in me. I'll prove it by defeating the magic dragon. That your magical tool surpassed your shitty dad's. Yeah, of course. Our future depends on your right arm, I'm counting on you. Yuri bumps her fist against my left fist. Dragging this out won't do you any good. Shall we start? Auga, do your best. Saying that, Karen takes out a handkerchief, folds it into thirds, and puts it in my mouth to bite on. She covers my eyes with her hand so I won't be scared. I'm going to insert it all the way in at once, so bear with it, boy. All right then, here we go. I feel the cold rod touch the closed wound. A few seconds later, the foreign object penetrates my body with a squelching sound. Section. To explain the current situation, we were in a hopeless pinch. The initial strike from Auga and Mr. Dude Luludon's missile. Our follow-up attack with magic of different attributes. Alice's sharp third strike. We had undoubtedly dealt damage to the magic dragon. However, that being possessed strength far beyond our imagination. Auga took a counterattack at close range and was blown away somewhere far. Then we sent Karen as reinforcement, and we've been somehow holding out until his return, but... I glanced to the side. Ha. Mashiro's complexion doesn't look good. She had been moving more actively than ever before. It wouldn't have been a problem against an ordinary opponent, but this is the magic dragon. Rather, it's amazing she's held out this far. Alice. Yes, we'll protect her until Auga-sama returns. Alice and I stand in front of Mashiro protectively. Thanks to the initial damage we dealt and Alice's frontline maneuvering, we've somehow managed to hold out even with just the three of us, but we're nearing our limit. You're quite persistent. You could ease your suffering if you surrender. Someone alone like you wouldn't understand. Our feelings right now. As long as we have hope in Auga-sama, we will never kneel. Didn't he already lose to me? I don't think he's worthy of being your hope. That's enough insulting Auga-sama, you beast. Further dialogue is unnecessary. I'll turn this town to ashes. But why doesn't the magic dragon return to its nest? The magic dragon that attacked Encarton before was repelled by the damage from Mr. Dude's magical tool. This magic dragon isn't trying to return to its nest, even though it's clearly taken more damage than that. It's clinging to this Encarton, even exposing its trump card human form, as if there's some reason it can't return. Riene-sama, it's coming. Called by Alice, I return my focus to the battle. I sense magic power concentrating in both arms of the magic dragon. As declared, preparations for the supersized magic to erase us are progressing. It can unleash such a wide-open special move because of the difference in power between us and that thing. I see, it's taking into account that Alice and I are stuck together to protect Mashiro. We're being quite underestimated. Alice, let's hold out until Auga arrives. Of course. Auga-sama will surely. I can still. Destruction End Breath has great power but requires charging. In that time, we can also unleash powerful magic. Vanish, Destruction End Breath. A Lightning Pierce. Shadowy Gale Blade. Frost Hurricane. Our magic clashes with the magic dragon's Destruction End Breath. We thought our combined technique of 3 people would be evenly matched, but it was easily swallowed up by the torrent of purple lightning that thing released. This is bad. If it comes to this, even if it's just the 2 of us. I reach for the secret weapon bottle hidden in my thigh. Sorry to keep you waiting, you 3. And stop as I hear the voice I wanted to hear the most. Section, Magic Burial. The beam of light that filled my vision, about to destroy the town, disappears in an instant, turning into sparkles. Even though I used Magic Burial, the true dragon-slaying fist that momentarily received the magic doesn't have a single scratch on it. Having confirmed that my magical power surpassed his Destruction End Breath, I breathed a sigh of relief upon seeing the 3 unharmed individuals. It was a close call. I shudder to think what might have happened if the 3 hadn't mustered their last bit of strength to unleash their ultimate technique. Auga, your arm. Yeah, it was a success. I flex my fingers, starting from the pinky. The true dragon-slaying fist had already become a part of my body. I've also created enough magic circuits so I can fight without any issues. Fufu, Auga, you're one of us now. That's right. I'm happy to have something matching with Riene now. As I answered, she smiled and gently tapped my right arm. Lord Augus. Alice, watch me, see how much stronger I've become. Yes. I gently stroked her messy hair, trying to tidy it up, then turned to face the magic dragon, who was showing his composure, looking as if he could kill us at any moment. Each of them probably had things they wanted to say, but I'm glad they held back and accepted the situation for now. Magic Dragon, how dare you torment the people I care about? I could see how much they had suffered from this creature, with wounds even on their faces. His crimes deserve 1,000 deaths. It's all the same no matter how many weaklings there are. Is that so? I channel magical power into my right arm, and the sound of gears turning echoes within. 4 yellow lines light up, indicating that the magical power charge is complete. This is my new power granted by the true dragon-slaying fist. It might be inappropriate, but I'm a little excited. Because the enemy before me is the first opponent I've met who can make me go all out. Augavelit. I don't need to think about anything else. I just need to focus all my consciousness on defeating him. That's the name of the man who will defeat you. Remember it. Come at me then. Limit Transcendence Gear Change Strong. I immediately boost my right arm and throw a straight punch without any tricks. The magic dragon blocks it by crossing his arms, but his expression is clearly distorted. Finally showing an expression befitting your human form, A. Don't get cocky over something like this, you human scum. He tries to gouge my flesh with his sharp claws, but I avoid it with a backflip. Good, as I thought, my Limit Transcendence Gear Change Strong is effective. That confirmation is enough. Nothing will start if you don't attack. You're right, then let me show you something interesting. I place my left hand on my right arm to steady my aim. Magic Dragon, have you ever seen this attack before? I feel one line of magic stone being consumed and used within my artificial hand. Understanding that it has connected from one end of the arm to the other, I unleash one of the gimmicks equipped in the true dragon-slaying fist. Dragon-slaying fist void. Gah, what a strange technique. My hand from the wrist onward flies through the air at ultra-high speed, grabbing the magic dragon's lower jaw in an instant. That fist and my arm are connected by invisible threads of magical power. So, when I concentrate magical power towards my arm, the fist tries to return, slamming the creature's body to the ground. Ugh. The power is greater than before. Dust swirls up, and the magic dragon, still not fully comprehending what's been done to him, resists, but I won't allow it. If the fist can be pulled back towards me, the reverse is also possible. By concentrating magical power through the magical threads towards the fist gripping the dragon's jaw, this time my entire body, arm attached, rapidly closes in on the magic dragon. Hey, is that all you're going to focus on? You impudent copycat. As the magic dragon reaches for my approaching body, I grab him with my free left hand and cancel his magic use with magic burial. That again. The slight difference in thought processing time created between me and the magic dragon due to his magic failing. I, who had already been thinking about my next move assuming the magic wouldn't activate, can act a fraction of a second faster. This is payback for hurting our precious friends. Using the magic from the second line, the outer casing of my artificial hand slightly lifts, and a sword appears from the gap. Yes, this is a gimmick based on the same principle as the folding sword I saw the day I met her, a sword that emerges from within when magical power is applied. Dragon-slaying fist blade. Your blade, it did not cut deep enough. The magic dragon, boasting of his own strength, deliberately chooses not to defend against my attack. The blade of the true dragon-slaying fist fails to penetrate his hardened skin and is pushed back. The weak always make the wrong, crucial choices. You've just wasted a perfect opportunity. Don't be so hasty, you impatient fool. What's the point of living for so long? You continue to mock me. You must have a death wish. I'll throw those words right back at you. Limit Transcendence Gear Change Strong. Until now, Limit Transcendence Gear Change Strong could only enhance my own flesh. That's why it had no effect on the sword until now. Gaia, what did you do? Green blood drips down the sword from the magic dragon's abdomen, falling in droplets. It's simple. Now that the artificial hand has the same magic circuits as my flesh, it's recognized as part of my body. Therefore, the sword stored inside the artificial hand is also part of my body. This means it has magic circuits running through it and can be a target for enhancement by Limit Transcendence Gear Change Strong. As a result, I can now slice through his belly like this. Guo. I twist my arm, using the embedded sword to gouge out his flesh. Having taken clear damage, the magic dragon, who had been so composed until now, was sweating profusely with a bitter, agonized expression. It's useless to try and escape. My right hand won't let go of you, just get sliced up and die. Don't mess with me, a mere human daring to order me around. What tremendous magical pressure. I release my right hand from the magic dragon, who unleashed a brute force technique of intimidation through sheer magical power, and create some distance. I should have done this from the start. If it all becomes a wasteland, it'll be more comfortable for me to live in. A vortex of magical power swirls up around him. Just by gathering magical power in both hands, he instills such fear, truly befitting the name of Magic Dragon. He's demonstrating strength worthy of that title. Auga, let me help. Don't worry, let me handle this and look cool doing it. I stop Mashiro with my hand and face the Magic Dragon head-on. That beast is trying to end this battle by destroying us along with the entire town in one strike. If that's the case, I'll counter it with all my might. I gather magical power with every fiber of my being to neutralize its attack. Prepare yourself, Magic Dragon. This will be your final strike. Realizing I'm serious, the Magic Dragon reverts to its bestial nature, abandoning its previous rational speech. It begins charging its destruction and breath with its last ounce of strength. Living beings exert greater power when their lives are in danger due to survival instincts. The Magic Dragon is no exception. The amount of magical power has increased by about 1 level compared to the destruction and breath I deflected earlier. This might be a tough battle, but strangely, I didn't feel like I would lose. The only concern was whether my artificial arm could withstand the magical power needed to negate the dragon's attack. Dragon Banisher MK.1 definitely couldn't have endured it. However, this true dragon-slaying fist should be able to withstand even my full power. Now then, your all-out destruction and breath against my life-risking magic burial. Let's see which is stronger, shall we? Magic burial. In an instant, a torrent of magical power that turns the world pure white is released from its hands. The magical power is so immense that I can't erase it in an instant like before. An incredible pressure is applied to my right arm as I receive the dragon's destruction and breath. The will of the monster trying to take my life transmits through my right arm. The killing intent hurled at me as if to devour me whole. The pride of one who reigns over superior species. Despite feeling all of this, I didn't feel like I would lose. I made a promise, you know. I gradually push back the destruction and breath, closing the distance to the Magic Dragon. That I'd defeat you and prove that this true dragon-slaying fist is the strongest magical tool. With each step I take closer, it tries to resist by exerting more power, but it's meaningless. So, take this. A right straight from both me and Yuri. An all-out attack that doesn't consider output eventually runs out of gas. As I swing my right arm, the magic burial finally erases the destruction and breath with an explosive sound. Having used up all its magical power, the magic dragon that was so fierce before now stands there, breathing heavily with its shoulders heaving. Understanding that it can't avoid what's coming, it shows no sign of moving from that spot. I twist my waist greatly and unleash a right straight pact with the magical power of the remaining 2 magic stone lines. Limit Transcendence Gear Change Strength. Guac! The blow I delivered, striking through its tough scales, certainly sinks into its cheek, sending it spinning through the air. And before my eyes lies the figure of the magic dragon, fallen and bleeding from its mouth. Gah, to think that I would lose again. QQ Cuckoo, you've lost to other humans before, yet you had the nerve to say such things. You're only the second. But there won't be any more. Why's that? Because you're going to kill me. The magic dragon shows no sign of resistance, its posture natural, as if ready to accept death at any moment. That was undoubtedly my strongest destruction and breath. If I couldn't defeat you with that, I'll probably never be able to beat you. How does that connect to you dying? We have a rule that the loser must obey the winner. That's why I came to attack this town, following the winner. You wish for my death, don't you? Come on, say it. I'm not foolish enough to live in shame. Wait, did this dragon just say something incredible? Then, you didn't come to attack Incartan of your own will. To state the facts, that's correct. After my dwelling was attacked, I lost to a woman named Flanae Milfonte and was ordered to rampage in this nearby area. Well, you're in luck. You've just escaped death. What? No way Flanae shows up here too. If this dragon story is true, I need to make it spill information about her whereabouts and such. At the very least, it's no longer someone I can kill on a momentary impulse. For now, the premise is to let this one go in that case. I'll give you my order. Come to Velet territory after the 7th sunrise. What? I have many more things I want to ask you. So come to my town and let me hear your story. Got it. Are you really okay with that? I nod my head in affirmation to the dragon's question. Of course, I don't really want to invite it to Velet territory. But the talk about flaneur-related matters would be troublesome if carelessly overheard by others, so I have no choice but to bring it to Velet territory, the safest place. I wonder how I'll explain this to father. Hey, you're an interesting man. All right, I'll keep my promise. If you understand, you'd better leave this town quickly. Once the townspeople realize I've won, they'll be eager to attack you. You're a strange one, considering we were just fighting to the death. But the loser must obey the winner. Let's meet again. The human-like body swells up with a series of pops, wings sprout from its back, sharp fangs grow from its mouth, and the magic dragon returns to its original dragon form. It deliberately lowers its head, as if to show gratitude before taking flight into the sky. The battle with the magic dragon that had plunged Encartan into hell came to a quiet close. And so, the worst night in Encartan's history came to an end. Epilogue. The sound has it stopped. As the deafening explosion ceased, the people who had been crouching in place cautiously peered out the window. Our city ravaged by the magic dragon. Just when we thought it was all over, standing there was not the magic dragon but the saint. Boss dude. One of them asked me, as if to confirm it wasn't a dream. So I nodded firmly to reassure them and replied, yeah, he won. It's a miracle. A miracle has happened. I'm alive, I'm really alive. We did it, the saint did it. The people who had been watching the fierce battle in the sky from the command center raised their fists to the heavens. Some even crouched down, shedding tears. That's how much of a threat the magic dragon posed to humanity. Our built-up history and technology have been preserved. With the threat of the magic dragon gone, the miscellaneous monsters beyond the fortress are no longer formidable enemies. We can just drive them away with our proud magical tools as we've done before. We can do this because he minimized the damage from the magic dragon. Am I dreaming? If I'm not mistaken, at the end, the magic dragon bowed its head to Augavelet and flew away into the sky. Its appearance was like a knight swearing loyalty to its master. Surely only a handful of people, including myself, witnessed this scene, but rumors will soon spread to various regions. Augavelet, the new light of humanity who became the saint at the young age of 15. This is truly a great achievement. And the prosthetic arm fitted to his right arm, there's no mistake. My daughter made it. The magical tool created by Yuri helped the saint defeat the magic dragon. What I couldn't do, she did. I see. The time has finally come to free her from that useless admiration. She used to always say she wanted to be like her dad and spent all her time in the workshop. At first, I thought it was just my daughter's cute behavior, but when I saw the magical tools she made, my thinking changed. This kid will undoubtedly become a far more skilled mechanic than I am. That's why I never wanted her to work in my workshop. She shouldn't aim to be like me. It would be a waste of her talent. I had to let Yuri experience the outside world. I gave her a forge for training, but absolutely refused to employ her. That's how this distorted structure came about. No matter how much I was disliked, I had no intention of giving in. Isn't it a father's job to do anything for his child? I was wondering if there was an environment suitable for her to showcase her skills. It couldn't be halfway. It had to be somewhere that would definitely encourage growth. While I was pondering this, a letter arrived from a client. It was from Rajini's Kabunica, asking me to take care of the prosthetic arm for a kid named Augavelet. I had heard of Augavelet, a young man who had earned the title of saint for dedicating himself to fighting evil for the sake of the country. And I immediately devised a plan. I would deliberately refuse Augavelet's request and arrange for Yuri to meet him by driving her out. If he learned that Yuri was my daughter, Augavelet would surely take interest. Things unfolded exactly as planned, but he turned out to be an exceptional individual beyond my imagination. He's a man who defeated the magic dragon. He probably saw through my intentions easily. Looking back on our interaction in the workshop, his behavior suggested he understood our intentions. A man of unparalleled strength in both brawn and brain, huh? I might have witnessed the beginning of a new legend. Augavelet's name will resound throughout the land, and new trials will surely rain down on that man. With the Flown Milfonte incident and all, he's definitely a man born under such a star. If that's the case, those around him will inevitably be forced to grow. Indeed, she's the only one. Amidst the joyous cheers, I made a decision. Section. After piercing the magic dragon's belly, I shook off the green blood on my arm. True dragon-slaying fist. It turned out even more impressive than I had imagined. It might be more accurate to call it an arm weapon rather than a prosthetic arm. Although it was used without any prior testing, there was no discomfort in my body. All that's left is to have Yuri check if there are any abnormalities in the true dragon-slaying fist. Auga. Karen, whom I had instructed to hide while I fought the magic dragon, came running and leaped at me. Catching her as she enthusiastically embraced me, I spun around once to keep us from falling, then hugged her back. I'm so glad. When connecting the prosthetic arm to my right arm, Karen held my hand tightly and covered my eyes with her other hand. In other words, she heard the sound and felt the moment when the prosthetic arm's connection dug into my arm. That's why she must have been praying even more strongly for my safety. Behind Karen, Yuri stood with a grin, her fist thrust out just as she had when she sent me off. Her expression was filled with a sense of accomplishment. You did it, boy. Yeah, I proved its power. You bet. As I bumped fists with the true dragon-slaying fist, Yuri shouted towards the sky, as if expelling the sense of accomplishment welling up from the depths of her stomach. Did you see that, you damn old man? This is my true ability. Ha, cough, cough, ah, that feels better. After expelling everything that had been pent up, she inhaled deeply as if seeking oxygen, then collapsed on the spot. Then she thrust both arms up again. Seeing this, Karen, whose tears had completely subsided, laughed along with me. I was right to believe in her passion for her goals. Yuri is a person who can strive to fulfill her dreams and move forward. This level of skill, it would be a shame to end our connection after just one prosthetic arm creation. I had been thinking about it for a while. If she made a satisfactory prosthetic arm, no, that's not it. From the start, she abandoned everything else for the prosthetic arm creation. She completed the true dragon-slaying fist and bounced back from failure without being discouraged. What I need right now is exactly someone like her. Yuri must have realized it. The joy of seeing her own magical tool in action, the sense of accomplishment as if everything had paid off. She's probably uncertain about her future now, because she's experienced new emotions in the small world where Luludan Workshop was everything until now, because she's feeling refreshed, with her heart now empty. If that's the case, I just need to fill that void. Kuku, I've decided, Yuri. I grasped her hand, which was stretched towards the sky as if yearning for the next path after achieving her goal. I'm going to take you to Velet territory. Yuri's shoulders trembled slightly. What are you saying, boy? You know, right? I want to work in my old man's workshop. I even made a magical tool that can defeat a magic dragon. This time for sure. Yeah, I know, but I've decided I want you. Me, the eldest son of the Velet family, and the saint. That doesn't matter. This is the independent mechanical city of Encarton. Your position won't help you here. Unfortunately, that's not the case this time. I'm the hero who saved this city, after all. It's true that Encarton is a city unaffected by noble influence, but it would be in poor taste to refuse the request of the one who saved them from annihilation. If they were to respond in such a manner, no one would come to their aid even if they were attacked by a magic dragon in the future. That would be troublesome for Encarton as well. After all, the Dragon Crusher bullet that defeated the magic dragon in the past couldn't repel it this time, and the only thing that can counter a magic dragon, the true dragon-slaying fist, is on my arm. Even if Yuri were to create another true dragon-slaying fist, the number of people who could use it would be limited. So, you have no choice but to come with me. And why am I acting like such a villain? It's to show Yuri my determination to never let her go. It's to prevent her from having regrets by making her choose between Luludan Workshop and Augavelet. By taking her back like this, Yuri can use the pretext that she was forcibly taken away by me, eliminating the need to feel indebted to Luludan Workshop, or more specifically, to her father, Mr. Dude. I have no desire to continue serving the kingdom even after defeating Floan. I'm lowering my reputation among the people here on purpose. You don't need to hesitate. Just aim for the top and keep honing your skills. And I continue. This isn't complete yet, is it? I said, tapping my right arm. I see, so I have no choice but to do this, huh? Yeah, you have no choice but to follow me. So, tell dude about our conversation exactly as it happened. I instruct her to explain the situation to dude in advance to avoid complaints later. It would be troublesome otherwise. Besides, if my prediction is correct, that man will give his permission. After all, he's the one most infatuated with his daughter's skills. Come to the wingship, the airship bound for Velit territory, tomorrow. Understood. Once he hears about the magic dragon's defeat, father will surely arrange for a return trip immediately. The reason is simple, because his beloved kid is here. You're kind, boy. QQ Cuckoo, what are you saying? I'm just doing what I want to do. I pull her hand that I was holding, helping her stand up. I'll be waiting. With just those words, I left the place. Section. After the official announcement of the dragon's defeat, all the residents of Encartan began the reconstruction work. Normally, we who had already exhausted our strength in the fierce battle shouldn't have to do anything. But, Lord Augus, Augakun we too. When Alice and Riene look at me with pleading eyes, I have no choice but to help. I can't refuse. After all, I want to look cool in front of these two who have come to like me. I'm getting closer to the title of saint again. The regret of accumulating good deeds, as a saint versus betraying everyone's affection. There's no need to weigh these on a scale. So, until just now, I was helping remove debris, pushing my body to its limits. It seems the hotel we were using was safe, so we're still using the same room. Once we catch our breath, there will be various things we want to talk about. This time, too, there were many changes. Mashiro sat next to me and gently stroked my right arm. Unfortunately, I can no longer feel anything there, so I can't sense her gentle touch. But I had no regrets. Thanks to the true dragon-slaying fist, I was able to protect the four of them from the dragon. Your arm has really changed, hasn't it, Augakun? Did you prefer it the way it was before, Mashiro? Ahaha, you know, I could say I'd love you even if your whole body turned into a machine. I'm sorry. I asked an unpleasant question. No, I want to remove all of Augakun's worries, because I love you. Thank you. Saying that, I gently pat her head with my right hand. Mashiro rubs her cheek against that hand, embracing it lovingly. It's not just Mashiro-san, Augakun. Auga is Auga, even if his arm has changed. Yes, our love hasn't changed at all. This is bad, I might cry. If I let my guard down even a little now, tears will spill out. I closed my eyes once, took a deep breath to suppress the welling emotions, and brought up an important topic. This kind of situation could happen. No, to be honest, losing just an arm might be a small price to pay. Saying that, I showed everyone my prosthetic right arm again. This is reality. If any of them had looked away from this arm, I was prepared to end our relationship, promising to support their future lives. This was to keep them from getting involved in battles. I'm forcing them to be prepared, and that's for my own convenience. If they couldn't accept my right arm, they would surely suffer if they stayed with me, as there's a possibility of even more unfortunate results. That's not desirable for me either. Because I love them, I want them to choose a path that will make them happy. But if you're okay with this, memories of everyone flash through my mind like a revolving lantern, days colored by Mashiro's brightness. The day I got engaged to Karen, surprising me to the point of fainting. The warmth of Riene that I desperately grasped. Alice's tears when she was freed from her past burdens. And the expressions of everyone when they gave me their love. Everything is so dear to me, and I can confidently say I don't want to let go of any of it. I see. Why couldn't I understand something so simple, even going so far as to create an escape route for myself? If I'm going to live as I please, following my own beliefs, all I need to do is love everyone, nurture that love with everyone, and live in a way that will surely make everyone happy. There will probably be problems that come with class differences and such, but that doesn't matter. I want to devote my everything to all of them. Since I've decided to do as I please, I'll see this stubbornness through to the end. So there's only one thing I need to convey. Mashiro, Karen, Riene, Alice, I love all four of you. So, will you marry me? The words asking for a lifetime together came out more smoothly than I expected. I had intended to say something cooler and more moving, like I'll make everyone happy, or I'll devote my lifelong love to you, but my current feelings came out just as they were. Looking at them in front of me, I have no regrets. This is what I wanted, because they're making the faces I most wanted to see. I love you too, Auga-kun. Auga, thank you, for giving me so much happiness. I had decided to devote my life to you, Auga-kun, from that day. From now on, as family too, please keep me by your side, Lord Auga, never to be separated even for a moment. The joy that I had been holding back earlier now explodes. I spread both arms wide and embrace all four of them. Mashiro, Karen, Riene, Alice. I love you. This day will surely be an irreplaceable one in my life. And so, I made a promise of marriage with the four people I love most in the world. Section, to help with Encartaun's reconstruction, it would be better to return to Velit territory once and consult with my father. Besides, after inciting Yuri like that, we can't very well extend our stay. Having made this judgment, our group was heading towards the airship boarding area for the flight to Velit territory. Why didn't he embrace us after that flow, that coward, Auga-kun? I definitely thought it would be that kind of day. Now you too. I'm sure Auga has his reasons. I was overwhelmed just by becoming Lord Auga's official fiancé. The conversation happening behind me is scary, but it can't be helped. I used up all my courage just proposing marriage. Besides, for a virgin's first time to be a 5-person play, that's too high a hurdle. I've heard that physical compatibility is very important. That's why I had no intention of making a move until I acquired proper techniques. Is that? As I quickened my pace to escape the uncomfortable conversation, I spotted a figure at the boarding area and grinned. I could immediately recognize her hair color and clothes. You're late, boys. Yuri Luludon, carrying a bulging bag on her back, was energetically waving her arms left and right. Huh, Yuri-san. Isn't Yuri the one who made Auga-kun's prosthetic hand? Why is she here? I scouted her yesterday to come to Velit territory. It's better to have her nearby for future maintenance of my prosthetic. I explained to the puzzled Mashiro as I approached Yuri, launching a preemptive strike. You seem awfully cheerful for someone leaving their hometown. Did something good happen? Yesterday, you gave me a chance to talk with my old man, remember? So, a little. It seems the parent-child relationship has been repaired a bit. From my perspective, having vaguely noticed Mr. Dude's feelings, it's about time. Oh, right, I have a letter from my old man. He told me to give it to you. I received an envelope from Yuri and took out the tri-folded paper inside. There was just one line writ, I'm entrusting my treasure to you. He should just say that honestly. He's still such an awkward man. That's why things got so complicated, and they've been having parent-child quarrels for so long. So, are those behind you, the bride candidates your fiancé mentioned before? Yeah, let me introduce them. They are my love. No, that's not right anymore. I cleared my throat and corrected myself. They are the 4 who will become my wives. I'm Mashiro, like Auga-kun's bride. I've truly become his wife now. I'm Karen Levizenka. I'm the one who's been in Auga-kun's care, Riene Velit. I serve as Lord Auga's maid. And I'm also his bride. I'm Alice. Somehow, introducing them as my wives to others makes me realize anew that they've accepted my proposal. Can you tell us about yourself too, Yuri-san? All right, dear wives. My name is Yuri Luludon. From now on, I'll be living with you as the master's personal mechanical engineer. I will. Her unfamiliar polite speech is probably proof of her determination to live in the outside world after leaving Encartaun. But such odd polite speech only makes me laugh because it's funny. Yuri, you can speak normally. They won't get angry over something like that. Oh really? Then lastly. Yuri, with a competitive smile, pointed her index finger sharply. I'm the mechanical engineer who plans to become the world's best under the boys' guidance. Nice to meet you. Stage sub 3, the last holiday. The quality of the magic stones, the quantity, I was right to choose this place. I, Flanae Milfonte, stood at the peak of a mountain far from the kingdom of Rondism. This place was once human territory, but now it's occupied by the magic dragon. Or rather, it was occupied, I suppose. The master of this place is no longer here. I drove it out with sheer power a few days ago. It's probably rampaging somewhere by now. It should be doing a good job as a prelude to the festival I'm about to hold. With the appearance of the magic dragon, Auga Velit won't stay quiet. That man, who embodies justice, will surely act to stop the magic dragon. While his movements are sealed, I was able to carefully prepare for the festival. Like Andros, I hope he'll buy time for my plan. That man was somewhat useful too. Securing test subjects, interfering in politics, but I have no need for people who have failed even once. If you want to come to the world I aim for, you must complete your work perfectly. I kept him around because he could use useful dark attribute magic, but I'm glad I came up with a good way to dispose of him. Augavelit, that annoying man's activities will soon come to an end. That detestable man who has consistently interfered with my plans. In the end, I never figured out the trick to his magic-canceling technique. If that's the case, I just need to crush him with mass that has nothing to do with magic. Foo-foo, few-foo-foo. The large number of mechanical dolls lined up before me. If they're magical tools powered by magic stones, it doesn't matter if he can nullify magic. It was the right decision to speed up production in various locations after confirming Augavelit's existence. Gordon and the others probably haven't noticed that I had factories for weapon manufacturing all over the world. I assembled the parts made in various places here, using my own magic. It was a struggle to transport them, but the reward is worth the effort. Above all, tools that become my hands and feet are happy to work. With this, the stage is set. I'll launch a large-scale attack targeting Mashiro-like. A holy war to seize the vessel worthy of my rebirth. Finally, my ambitions will be realized. Now shall we begin, Augavelit, our war with the world as our stage with everything precious at stake. Afterward. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, boobs. Summer cold. This year is hot, hot, hot. How are you all doing, dear readers? It's the season when just stepping outside brings a sticky heat that assaults your entire body, and we continue to rely heavily on air conditioning. Conversely, I'm the idiot who's caught a summer cold from overusing the air conditioner, gahaha. I'm facing my computer with a cooling sheet on my forehead. Well, putting aside my personal matters, how did you all find the contents of this arc? With the addition of a new ally, Yuri, and the progression of relationships with Mashiro and the other heroines, the story is now ready to move towards the final battle with Flanae. Above all, the event where Auga's right arm becomes a prosthetic. This is what you'd call a power-up event. Cutting off the right arm for this purpose is a bold move, but machine arms are the epitome of romance in creative works, aren't they? Rocket punch, hidden sword, beam, and so on. Auga, who can now be equipped with various gimmicks, will become even stronger from now on, so I hope you're looking forward to it. My utmost gratitude to all the readers who have stayed with me this far. We're finally approaching a climax. I want to hone my skills by valuing each day until then, so I hope you'll all continue to support me. I look forward to meeting you again in the next volume. Kinome, end of Volume 4.